Get 'em, Jimmy. Where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty. I'm not cracking. We stacking. Chips, all of this. What I want. Plus money winners. That's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated. Who can produce? Play the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They get slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a legal weapon 'cause we lead. Oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, June 12th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It's a big winning day yesterday. I don't want to talk too much about it. The season hasn't been good enough, so no point to celebrate too much on a winning day, but 6-1, plus 5.29 units. Sometimes, you know, when you bet first fives instead of full games, they both cash. It didn't matter that you bet first fives. I think that was the positive with this action. You know, the Phillies first 5 minus a half instead of the first 3 because we were a little worried about the sticks. You know, the first 5 cashed minus a half. The first 3 didn't. Washington, Detroit, first 3 under 2.5 was a no sweater. You know, 1 run was scored. The first 5 under didn't cash, so that was good. The A's first 3 cash at plus 120. The first 5 didn't cash at loss. So, you know, making those moves was very helpful. Billy Friedrich on the White Sox first 5 plus a half is the pig milk play of the day. Jose and I were both on it. My only loss was the White Sox Seattle first 5 under 3.5. I did see last few hours before, you know, the last, even at like 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern, you saw that moving towards the over, and that was probably a mistake. Atlanta, Baltimore under 8. Atlanta unders are spectacular, and that Baltimore Orioles team is very, very good. So we're moving in the right direction. Let's just move past that. Jose also had a nice winning day. He's closer to the black than I am, but we both have to be in the black. You know, there's no, our summer will fall apart, and the show will fall apart if we don't. So good day. We need more good days. Wine Time Sports now 5-0 in 2-unit plays in MLB this year. Keep your eye open for it. Joey Harb in the house, serious business. Rocco Rogers, Nordy, Von Polo, Viper NB. He's got Philadelphia moneyline, Cleveland moneyline, Seattle minus 1.5 locked in so far. Another situation yesterday where White Sox go ahead and can't hold on to the lead. For you live bettors out there, you must keep an eye out for that. Let's get that copied and pasted right here. Leonard Porch Jr. in the house. Leonard, it's a big night for us. It's a really big night for Leonard and I. As you guys know, Operation Garcia was a struggle. Around, you know, the Pacers were the worst possible team for it, and it shouldn't just be a blanket bet. You know, and that's what I'm learning about it. And, you know, year 3, I thought I would do better, but we've had big scores in the first 2 rounds of the finals with it, recouping, and we'll be attacking it again today. So Leonard, you know, and yes, the game 2, which we did huge on. I mean, the Celtics props went 6-2 to the under. It wasn't a perfect situation. You know, it was setting up for the perfect situation with Luka scoring all the points, but then Luka just stopped scoring. And I went 4-5 in my Mavs action. Now, 3 of those 4 winners were plus money spots, but big night for Leonard and I. Big night, important night. Professor Chris ready to go. Justin McKelvey, Jay Peasy ready to eat. Big Scott says also thanks to Ramon Scott. I'll be on Mavs first half money line. Give it out as a stat today that said the home team going down 2-0 in the series, 90-40 to the first half money line. You know, that's appealing to me. I'm already on the full game. The thing is, I also have my pops. My pops sent in the Oilers bet for game 2, which I smiled. And now he's been on a big run, so I've been paying him out. So I was confident that he was going to light that money on fire. So I put that in my pocket. But he also moved on the Celtics plus 1.5 at minus 105, which I also just put in my pocket. So I do have a double up. Sorts on the Mavs, but I'm interested in the first half. I like that look. Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Let me just pop this in here. Are you sorry? Hit me with Guillermo. I want to know exactly what you are talking about. Rip to the logo. Can you hit me with that?
Jerry West died.
Sorry?
Jerry West died a couple minutes ago.
Oh, that's why you put it out.
Yes, Jerry West died.
Oh, wow. Because I saw Jose. Oh, yeah, that's yeah. Rest in peace to Jerry West. He was, wow. Thank you, G. And Wine Time said my grandpa texted me this morning. He said his hero passed away. Didn't know he ever had a hero. Honestly, wow. Rip to Jerry West. Wow, I did not know that. Rest in peace to Jerry West and to the family of Jerry West. Man. That's sad, and thank you for letting me know about that, G. And that's why I was wondering. I thought Jose was just really into what he calls shooty hoops. That's not the case. Wine Time Sports. F. Donahue says, let's have another positive day. Nut Flush Allen in the house. Billy Friedrich ready to go. Big Scott. Did Woo not? Because oh God, I was capping everything yesterday. Let me just go back to we didn't have that stuff voided. Did Woo not pitch at all in that?
Woo didn't pitch. Yeah, no, I texted you that I had to rebet it.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Woo
We had
didn't
John.
even pitch?
Yeah, no, he's going to go on the IL probably. We had a Jonathan Diaz pitch. Instead of getting plus 105, I bet it again at plus 107. Yeah, that was one other thing I texted you.
Wow. So my record isn't right. I did actually, I guess, sweep the board. I'll have to put out. Wow. I didn't realize that it happened. Wow. So I guess I've got to. Actually, I haven't even sent in my update to my local. I haven't even sent it in, so I don't really need to do anything. I just need to fix my record. Wow. Okay. Thank you for that. Jesus, what a mess I've been. So these were voided. Okay. Well, I will fix that record. I mean, so 5-0 a day. Wow. Now that doesn't actually. That actually cost me a few dollars because I did get plus money on the White Sox first 5+. I haven't even looked at the Pinnacle account. Okay. Wow. Okay. A little shaky to start out today. I don't know exactly what's going on. But helpful information from all of you guys. Ethan Payson here in the house. Billy Friedrich Pig Milk play today. LA Angels first 5 money line plus 120. Copy and paste that. No, Billy, that's the first time I've seen it in the chat. Yes, that is the first time in the chat. So thank you for sharing that here. Remo says, now we know Jimmy doesn't read Jose's text. No, it's just, that was late at night. I was just working,
Rem, he doesn't, Rem. We know it. We doesn't.
That's okay. Not true.
I shared Rem. You'll love this. I shared Slapshot with Helga, and now she knows who Suzanne is and the fact that she sucks pussy. And she watched the ending too, and it was a good time. And Jimmy didn't care at all. It was nonplussed. Nothing.
Oh my God, I cannot. But thank you guys for the heads up there. I did not realize that those bets were voided. Jesus. Okay, sorry. Let me get to the Pig Milk play of the day, which Jose and I were both on yesterday. Let's get that in here. God damn. That actually does cost me a little bit of money, but it's all good. All right. Kent Davies in the house. Rye Cape ready to get to work. Morgan Spooner, Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases at plus 100. Let's go. Here we go. Troy Torrance in the house. So let's get the Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases. Wow. So a lot of information that I was unaware of. Gifted Cartel in the house. Justin McKelvey says, do we put respect on Jose's name for killing home run props or nah? Cashed that in the first inning and got both homers. I think what you're seeing right now is Jose building confidence with those player props. And also for us, there is enough sample size for us to attack right now. Historically, this has been a very strong time of the year, which falls apart a week before the All-Star break. I've told myself that this year, the week before the All-Star break, I will only bet one bet a day. Even saying that, I don't believe I can.
Lies.
Even saying that, I was like, there's no way. But I have to. I have to in every sport, NHL, NBA. it's just this ridiculous. Why do we track our action if we're not going to use the data to make us better? Ethan Basin says, I feel like if we bet Angels money line today and tomorrow, we have a good chance of cashing 1 and maybe 2 at plus money. Smooth balls play today. Kyrie 30 or more at plus 330 for Jay Smooth. So we have a huge show today. Locked and Loaded says quality over quantity. It's just, look, we all love action. We all love action. It creates a situation where we don't need to talk to our wives. So I, always kind of edge to the world of extra action, but I have to do that. And we have to take advantage of this. This is the perfect time. And I'd be curious to hear what TJ says about this, but this is the absolute perfect time for baseball analysis for me. You have enough of a sample size and, things start changing. I find, after the All-Star break and also a little bit past the All-Star break, then, we're dealing with motivation issues and stuff like that. I really do believe that this should be a stretch here, because the All-Star break is what, July 16th, I want to say, is the actual day of the All-Star game. That week leading up. So we basically have about 3.5, 4 weeks to stack. And I really think that we will be able to do that. Big Daddy Boom says Freeman not hitting a home run cost me over $2,500. Only invested $50 on player prop parlays. Says thank God for Dornock and the trifecta. Leon, that was a beauty try and a beauty look on Dornock here. Okay, so let's get all this set up. Rodney Barton in the house, ready to rock and roll. Kelly McInnes. Isaiah Scurry says Vladdy not in the Blue Jays lineup. Slow jams. Arsenal ready to go. Dodgers get Biggio. Biggio. I like Biggio. I think he's good. I mean, look, I get why he was DFA'd, but he always seemed like he stepped up in the bigger situations. Look, the Blue Jays are a terrible baseball team. I was just thinking, I like Kevin Barker. I like Kevin Barker, a journeyman minor leaguer. And he's really down on this Blue Jays team. And he's one of our, main guys for Blue Jays breakdowns here in Toronto. And he's really down on the team. And he was saying something that did resonate with me yesterday. He goes, as much as we've smashed and beat up on Schneider and how bad he's managed, the fact that this team is 1 game under 500 right now is unbelievable. What a great job he's done with this horrible baseball team to have them 1 game under 500 at this point. Now, I expect them to fall apart. But all right, it's time to get to work. Great to see all of you guys. Mike Lewis ready to go. Vitalis in the house. Questioning the Kyrie over 30. I do think that's when you want to expect player to step up when he gets back home, knowing that he's 0-12 against the Celtics. But I can understand if you were just studying what happened in games 1 and game 2, you wouldn't think that would happen. But it's not like what you see is what you get. Just believe it's going to continue happening each and every game, despite what city you're in or what the score in the series is. But I can understand you questioning it. And I like it though. I think that's a good. So obviously, I am on. On the Mavericks. He just says, personally, I have a better record post All-Star break. Probably wise to go easy the series before and the series after, though. I agree with that. Okay, Fernando Mendoza in the house. We got Mr. Heat. Billy Friedrich also added Pete Alonso. Total bases over 1.5. Absolutely destroys Braxton Garrett. There are some tricky pitchers out there. When I start winning, which we all know isn't, all the time or often enough, I start thinking sharper. And I only moved on 2 bets here, and I destroyed line moves. Now, we know that doesn't necessarily equate to cash flow, but 365 was late on the market moves with that Houston-San Francisco series. So I got first 5 under 4 at minus 110 even, and I got the Giants first 5 at minus 110 even. Justin McKelvey says, literally experienced your grief. My wife complaining about not having a coupon for $250 off. Nearly lost my shit. Yes. George Wood ready to go. Says 1 a day is just for vitamins. George Wood, look, yesterday was a smaller day for me. I had 8 bets, but I need to /cut heavy for the week before the All-Star break. That's all I'm saying, George. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to fire away again today. Okay, it's ready. We are ready to rock. Let's talk a little bit about today's show. We got best bets from both Daby Cab and TJ. TJ has 4 best bets. Daby Cab has 2 best bets. TJ's 28 games into his season here on our show, 60.7% with an ROI plus 18.18 Then we get into NBA Game 3. Also, tonight we have an NBA live bet stream. Wham Bam 3000 making his long-awaited return to our live streams. I know he rocks Medicaid Mondays, and he's a big part of our channel. He's been a big part of my capping since I started doing this publicly. The first time him and DJ Big Boss rolled into Vegas, and I got to meet him about a year into my stint down in Costa Rica. They're just magic, absolute magic. So we have our guy Wham Bam, Dutch Boy Fresh, Jose Bouquet, Troy Torrance, and Billy Brisbane. It's going to be extremely enjoyable tonight. So that's at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Get yourself some adult beverages and let's go to town. And let's just get started, Jose. We got a huge card here. So let's get right to work. We are getting better. Things are getting better,
Yeah, that might not be your record, but it's actually might be better. You're 152 and 152. You're even now.
This doesn't feel like I'm even. It's funny. Now the NHL Stanley Cup Finals have to work out the way I have predicted them to work out. But I imagine I finished the year up 30 units, including regular season, playoffs, and futures, and it doesn't feel like I have. It feels like I've barely got my head above the water, barely holding on. I mean, 152, 153 down 7.13 units. That's not where I want to be. And I know you would say the same about 208 and 219. But let's get to the black and feel better about ourselves.
It is kind of crazy, though, that you're at almost 50% and you're down 7 units, and I'm fucking not close to 50%, and I'm almost there. That's nuts to me. Those are obviously the average odds coming in there, but that just feels crazy.
Yeah, I mean, our average lines have been pretty good this year. We've been pretty good. Now, I took some risks last week with some huge big spots that were uncomfortable, but
I've got lucky with the home run props recently. Like I've hit 2 for 2, and I'm actually going to hit I'm going to hit another one, I guess, today if I should be confident about myself. So,
yeah, and I think you should as well. Las Vegas in the house. Great to see you. Thank you for rocking with us. So, basically, I'm good. I'm actually 151 and 152, but it's the same amount of units situation. Oh no, I'm down 0. So I'm actually 151, 152, down 7.17 units. I didn't realize those were voided the White Sox spots, but important. Jeffrey Blue says huge day-to-day. Killing live run home runs by teams in certain innings. I love it, Jeffrey Blue. Let's get it. Justin McKelvey, Royce Lewis over 1.5 bases in his pocket. Wine Time says there's so many up and down capping MLB. It's a long season. I've gotten really hot runs, but also had really cold runs this year. Absolutely, that's I get it, man. So
yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've done this now. This is gonna be a 3rd season doing this publicly. It feels like that's all this is, Wine Time. Just I soar and then I just hit a fucking high and then just straight down, and then it's finding your way out of that hole. Or finding your way out of that down slump is the hardest thing for me to fucking get through. But yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sleep when things are not delivering. So it's
Slow Jams, by the way, he's asking if we're going to the Father's Day. I didn't know that was Father's Day. Now that you're mentioning it, but yes, we'll be in Dallas on Friday. Slow Jams, so we won't be there Sunday. We'll be there Friday night for the Game 4, and I can't wait to talk about Game 3 tonight and for that live stream. Dad, I don't want to be against you here, but it might be an ugly night. Be an ugly night for us.
Yeah.
Our relationship might get strained.
Oh no. There'll be no straining of the relationship. This is going to be a tough night for the Celtics. I think it's just going to be a tough night for the Celtics. So the way this series is set up, we know what happens to the role players at home, and now you're going to have a hobbled Porzingis if he plays at all, which I wouldn't play him. I'd give him 2 days off here and play him in Game 4. But again, he wants to play. I certainly expect them to announce that he's not playing, the way I see it. But I can't wait for tonight. Tonight will be fun. And look, I've got the Celtics. I've got a big bet on Celtics Game 1 in series. So it's, That's going to be fun. Let's get to work here, Jose, and let's deliver. This is a fascinating game here that I guess is likely to be rained out or pushed back. What do you think is going to happen in the Minnesota Twins game?
Great question. I don't know if these teams play again. Do you know if they? I'm obviously I don't look at the next day before ending today, so I don't know if they play tomorrow here. Honestly, Jim. Do they have a chance for a doubleheader, or is this
I
just
will
it?
tell you.
No, they don't. So
they don't play tomorrow.
They're going to have to either push this game back because I doubt that these teams are going to play again in the season. I'm not 100% sure, and it's early enough that I think they do, but I don't have the Minnesota weather report to see how long that rain goes. So probably push back.
I have the weather report here. I mean, we could. Oh, whoa! This just refreshed and says it's not raining. I just refreshed it and it says it's not raining.
It says 47% rain on Roto, but it says it's not in red. So seems good as of now, but 50-50 chance.
Okay, well, this looks a little better. So it's raining as we speak, and then it's isolated, and then it stops. Okay, so
Joseph Thompson says he's boots on the ground. It seems. It says it's raining now. It should stop before noon.
Well, Benjamin says they do have a game. Oh, they do have a game. Yes, at home versus.
But it's not against the
A's.
Not against the Rockies.
Yeah, against the A's. No, good call. Good call. So Joe T says this will be fine. So this was an interesting cap. Immediately, I think of yesterday with Port Dopes, Cal Quantrill. I think of this meek Minnesota offense. Whether it's righties or left against lefties, they're hitting since May 15th. Again, all these stats are going to be since May 15th. 211 with a 630 OPS. And I think immediately, Pablo Lopez has not looked good. Now the Rockies don't hit righties, 238, 656 OPS, but immediately I think about going back to the well. And so, I talked about yesterday how now that we have MLBs our full focus, we can spend more time on the spots and go to Fangraphs and go overall. Do you want someone first 3 innings? What is their numbers first time through the lineup? The Gomber's season right now is being tricky. So this is going to be Gomber's 5th straight road start. Now he's been good on the road, 1-2 with a 3.55 ERA, 239 points batting average. But we also have Austin Gomber with a 5.11 ERA the first time through the lineup. The second time through the lineup, 2.73 ERA. The third time through the lineup, 1.76 ERA. So there's different reasons behind that, but that is rare to find a pitcher who's so bad the first time seeing, and then he kind of gets locked in. That's got me off of any kind of wanting to back the Rockies early. And I know that Gomber's still being good in first 5s and all of that stuff, but I can't get past those stats. Rob McMahon in the house. Great to see you. Professor Chris rolling with us. So I got off the spot. Pablo Lopez coming off a bad start, 8-5 loss at the Yankees, 700 runs over 4 innings. At home this year, he's been much better than he's been on the road, which isn't saying that much. 4.64 ERA, 277 opponent's batting average, 35 Ks in 33 innings. The Rockies bullpen since May 15th, by far the worst in the league, 7.02 ERA. Mally Mal in the house, Nate Dogg in the house. Great to see all you guys. So let's get into the line history here and hand this over to Jose. But I've talked myself off of the spot here. And it was my first inclination was, to move on the Rockies and the Rockies early. This total opened up at 8 at a pick'em. It moved to 8.5 at 8:48 a.m. This came out 8:16 p.m. So it took, 12 hours for it to move to 8.5. And then it got right back to an 8. We've had 7 cents of movement towards the under. On the money line here, we are dealing with the Twins at minus 240. Now, oh God, it's gone down. So sorry. I got to refresh this again. It's now minus 233. Let me just refresh this right now so I don't have to deal with that. So now it's a minus 233, but we've had movement towards the Minnesota Twins. When we get into the cash flow for this one, we have 94% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. And on the total, we have 96% tickets, 97% cash on the over. Jeffrey Blue, Twins run in first. Believing that this lefty in Gomber is going to struggle. First time seeing the lineup. The 5th straight road start is an anomaly. You rarely see it. And Ron Crawford, Rockies were the dog play yesterday, but not today. So in the end, I am off of this spot. Take it away, Jose Bouquet, Rockies, Twinkies.
Yeah, I obviously lean towards Gomber here in a first 5. Your numbers are very interesting. That makes me feel like if he's got it, he's got it.
Exactly.
And if he doesn't, he'll know immediately, one of those
exactly.
things.
So he might become a perfect live betting situation for us if he can keep this routine going. But keep rolling.
Yeah. So, and this game screamed under to me as well. 95% of the bets, 96% of the money on the over in this game was kind of surprising. The line hasn't really moved much. If anything, it's moved 5 cents towards the under. So I definitely do lean under because I think both these pitchers can pitch well. I'd lean, I guess, specifically first 5 under, but everyone knows that I'm trying to avoid first 5 totals for a little bit, see how it goes. But I definitely lean Gomber here, and I lean under, but no action for me as well. I took first 5 money line yesterday, so I pushed my Cal Quantrill action. So consider, I guess, splitting that bet up, but no action for me.
And no action for me either. Spreadsheet Dog is in. Also, Friday night, for those of you in Texas, the squad's going to the game Friday night. Now, if you're just in Dallas but can't go to the game, you can meet up with the guys afterwards. So
I don't think we're actually going to watch the game like in the stadium. I think we're going to hang out or outside of the stadium as well.
I don't think that's the case. I think some of them are going to.
Oh boy, you guys are affluescent then, my guys. You guys are affluescent people.
Spreadsheet Dog play of the day is in as well. Also, they're doing the medicated meal at Dabby's on Saturday. So sounds very, very fun, man. Shout out to all the guys who are going to be there. So go hang with the group. Okay, so let's move on. No action for Jose and I. And also, I'd like to keep into the idea of that we talked about with CLV. Just because we see the public play before the public is a possibility for why some of the spots with a ton of CLV aren't delivering a positive ROI. And so this was the first spot that jumped out of the board, not just because it was first on the schedule, but also because I just cashed with it. So then I have another bias going on. So we got to remember and talk about the biases that are in our head that are negatively affecting our action. Let's roll on to the next spot. But before I do, let me copy and paste our guy Kong's clips action. I kind of like the Dallas. Maybe I can do that instead of taking the first half. Let me copy and paste that right before our breakdown.
He's got Dallas-Boston full game.
I do not think I wouldn't be upset if I saw Boston win game 3. The Mavericks have shown too much character throughout this series or throughout this playoffs for them just to roll over and play dead. I don't think that will happen here, but we'll see.
I'll hold on my comments till later.
No, we want them loud and rolling. Everybody loves it. You're the heel. People love it, man.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. By the way, Jimmy, you have a panel of haters. You assembled a panel of just haters. You've Lakers fan. Dutch has been rooting for the Mavericks. Troy's rooting for the Mavericks. And Billy's just a great gambler and go wherever his money desires. And you're on the Mavericks. This is a fucking panel of haters. It's everyone against me. And
I don't think I could have possibly put together a panel of supporters for you.
That's true. That's probably true.
All right. Okay, let's roll on to the next spot on the board and bring on one of our MLB experts. You will see a lot of him throughout this season, and he is rolling very, very nicely here. It's now over 60% on the young season, and he did not get off to a good start. Don't forget, this capper was 4-9 to start off his first 13 bets with us. 4-9, which of course means he's gone 13-2 since. Please welcome upstate New York in the house. Please welcome our friend TJ. TJ, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. It's time for us to get that cash. And you start your card with this Blue Jays Brewers spot. American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have Chris Bassett going up against Tobias Myers. Bassett's looked quite a bit better of late. Reggie and Codes in the house. Great to see you. Big Show ready to get to work. Big Show says Dallas bettors just don't like money, just like Edmonton bettors. I have not backed Dallas at all in the series. But yes, I think they're in a really good spot here this evening. And it makes it fun. Big Show, it makes it a lot of fun. But I have been telling Edmonton bettors, well, we don't need to keep hammering home. It's just 2-0 in the series, but I feel pretty good about the cap. But let's go back here. Chris Bassett last start 8 strong at the Oakland A's. You could tell he cared about pitching there. Big part of his past. It meant something to him. He's a pitcher with a ton of character. On the road, he's been better than he's been at home. 3.44 ERA, 252 opponent's batting average. Going up against Tobias Myers, who just looked absolutely spectacular against the Tigers. 8 innings, 1 hit. He was a monster. The Blue Jays are actually starting to hit a little bit. 248, 730 OPS versus righty since May 15th. And we know the Brewers have been hitting for a long time. 261, 721 OPS. This Brewers bullpen has been spectacular since May 15th. And Jays bullpen looks tiny bit better of late, a tiny bit better. Let's take a look at the line history to get us started here for this one. We have Tobias Myers and the Brewers opening up -108, now -123. It's a pretty legit market move towards them. The only way you could say it's not legit or it's not as meaningful is because it didn't start moving until, it had been available for 13 hours. There had been no move, but now it's moving. So, it did get up to -126. It's now -123. When we get to the total, we are sitting here with a 9, -114 to the under. This opened up at 8.5, went up to 9, back to 8.5, up to 9. Been bouncing all over the place, but we have that half run move to the over. LJ from H-Town says Brewers are 12-4, first 5 -0.5, coming off a first 5 loss the previous game. Gifted Cartel Toronto, first 5, Brewers full game money line. So let's take a look at the cash flow and then hand it over to TJ with his first action of the day. 68% tickets, 72% cash on the over, line moving in that direction. 64% of tickets and 79% cash on the Brewers. Fernando Mendoza says, yep, he's liking his Brewers today. Take it away, TJ, your first game on the board. Then we got Daby Cab next. But here we go, TJ. Take it away. Brewers at home to the Jays.
I have 2 plays here, both going to be official. But both pitchers have kind of been the benefactor of some weak opponents. Myers, everyone he's faced has been weak other than the Yankees, Detroit, Chicago, White Sox, Boston, Miami, St. Louis, Cubs, Pittsburgh. Some not very good offenses versus righties. Bassett's off of Oakland, Pittsburgh, and the White Sox twice. So I kind of a little bit of fool's gold in his recent results there. I think that Milwaukee's the best offense he's faced in a while. Against righties, last 14, they're batting .277 with a 340 OPS, 740 or 340 OBP, 743 OPS. Not much power, but a lot of base runners. And then Toronto, they started an upswing, so their last 30-day stats look okay. But I'm more of a 2-week sample. If there's enough at bats, and we got 367 at bats, they got a 114 ISO, which is terrible. They're not hitting for any power. The rest of their numbers are okay, other than their OPS .643. So pretty cold offense there. Like you said, Milwaukee's bullpen is absolutely outstanding. Toronto is on a bit of an upswing. But what was I going to say? Yesterday, Garcia, the closer, threw 20 pitches for Toronto. I don't think he goes today. Looking back at his season, he hasn't pitched back-to-back when he's thrown over like 17 pitches. And then Milwaukee's got their studs. They got Miguel Hudson and Pyops all available today that didn't pitch yesterday. So Milwaukee is a home favorite, 13-6, 16-11 after a loss. Toronto, 8-18 as a dog, 13-19 after a win. So everything to me is adding up for a Milwaukee money line bet. I'm frustrated I didn't put it out because I got it at -108. Currently -117 at Heritage, so we can make that official. Milwaukee money line -117. And then I'm going to be on Toronto team total under. I know the line's ticking up a little bit, but they've averaged over their last 11 games 3.27 runs. I think the combination of Tobias going 5 innings and then turning this thing over to an excellent bullpen, and Toronto with no power, getting to 5 runs for them is going to be a challenge today. So Toronto team total under 4.5 is -122 at Bet Online. I don't know if anyone can do better than that. It's ticking. It's getting even lower at DraftKings, FanDuel, Heritage. So it's getting bet right now. -122 Toronto team total under 4.5. That's where I'm going with this game.
And let me just quickly give you that under. Yeah, that's better than it's -131 right now at a penny. Vladdy not going to be in the lineup. Just before Jose jumps in, what everybody is doing now to the Blue Jays is any of the strong right-handed batters are forcing them to go to right field or lay off. Every pitch is set up. They're saying they're challenging them to hit the ball to right field. Can you hit the ball to right field? Because we're going to set you up high and outside so that you can go to right field. And they're just not able to do it. No one was able to do it. In that 2-1 game, it was Schneider was the only one. It was just unbelievable. And they thought, well, Carlos Rodriguez was going to do the same thing, which he didn't. They're a very easy team to pitch against. And now Vladdy's not in the lineup. Jose, take it away. Blue Jays, Brewers.
I'll join you here, TJ. I'll just take Brewers here, full game money line. I'm getting -121 now. That market has moved pretty quickly towards them. Was -105 earlier this morning, and obviously there's more bets and money on them. 63% of the bets, 79% of the money on them. CLV be damned.
And you don't think that's all on Vladdy not being in the lineup? You think that's
no? I don't.
Why didn't they move for the first 13 hours? They didn't respect those bettors?
No, they didn't go fuck. Nah, but I don't think so.
It's a valid.
I think that maybe it's bigger bets, and obviously maybe the limits and all that good shit. But I don't think so. I think that Vladdy's not 15 cents worth of a player, and if he is, I guess then even better for us. I know I just looked at the lineup here, confirm lineup, and you see Daniel Vogelbach hitting 4th. That does not inspire confidence here.
No, I feel you. Can you touch on that, TJ? You think this is sharp action moving the line or Vladdy being out?
I think it's both. Like you said, this team is full of a lot of individual pride. They don't play like a team. So you take these guys, you pitch them outside, make them go the other way. A lot of them aren't going to do it. They're just trying to pull home runs over the fence. You get a more veteran team out there, they'll happily hit a single to right, but not these guys. So, yeah, Vladdy being out is going to influence that line, but I think there's sharps on it too.
Yesterday, it was just Barker was losing his mind over it. Kevin Barker, who, that was one of the things he could do. He could just play this. I mean, he wasn't a very good hitter, but he would just do what was being offered to him, and the Jays are incapable of doing that. Troy Torrance says he saw sharp action move line 4 cents, and Vladdy got announced to move 10 more. Locked and loaded, liking your action. Not for me. I'm not that I'm against it. I'm just not going to move on it here. So, Jose, you got the Brewers at -121. Is that right?
Yeah.
And TJ got the Brewers -117, and the team total under 4.5 -122. Now, Bo Jackson, Mike Wilkerson, Kelly McInnes, looking at the Jays, and Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, said Bet Online just moved it to -119.
Okay. No, I haven't. So let me refresh real quick and bet it now. Yeah, -119.
19.
Sweet.
Okay, let's roll on. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. TJ, you have 4 spots of action, and you will be back here shortly. TJ's next spot, Braves, Orioles, the Povich-Schwellenbach start. So we'll be seeing you here very shortly, TJ, my friend. But TJ is on the board with 2 bets, and again, hitting at 60.9% here with the 28 bets in. TJ, thanks for rocking with us. We'll see you again here shortly.
Yep, let's go.
All right, we move on to the next spot on the board and bring on our next guest, coming to us from Dallas, Texas, star of Medicaid Mondays, and a great MLB capper and ex-professional pitcher. Please welcome Daby Cab to the show. Daby, how are you?
I'm good, man. You guys were talking about, the ups and downs of gambling. It's crazy, man. There's always going to be the rides. You gotta ride it. You got to keep going. I won 7 in a row before losing 6 in a row before going 8-1. So it's been a hell of a week the past week and a half. It is what it is. We keep grinding, man. We keep grinding.
Yeah. No, it's such a bad life. I was about to, I don't know what I was going to do, but I was in dire straits. And then I'm 14-4 in my last 18. So let's stay hot. Gifted Cartel says Webb at home, 1.71 ERA. Giants top 5 last month. No BS against lefties. Giants money line. Wine Time Sports on Giants money line. I still, and look, I'm not saying that I think Logan Webb is this huge. We have a huge advantage over Framber Valdez. And Framber Valdez just went complete against an Angels team that's smashing lefties. Now, maybe not to the extent the Giants are, but close. Giants are 280 with an 882 OPS versus lefties in the since May 15th. Giants bullpen's been very good since May 15th, 3.09 ERA. The Astros being second or third best in baseball. And so not only do I fear the Astros bullpen more than the Giants bullpen, I want to cut down games when I feel like I don't have the better team. I also got a great line. Pinnacle was moving drastically and Bet365 wasn't. So I've moved on 2 spots here. I am on Logan Webb first 5, Giants first 5. I got minus 110 at Bet365. And I got the first 5 under 4 also at minus 110. It was already at minus 122 at Pinnacle when I got the minus 110 at 365. That's Astros, Giants at Oracle Park. Giants 18-15 at home. Astros still struggling, 31, 37, 14, 19 on the road. Let's get into the weather at Oracle. We have 61 Fahrenheit, 9.1 miles per hour to left field. Gets up to 12.6 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history. Collins Clips heavy, really believing in the over in this one. Let's go through this line history. This is now minus 119 on Logan Webb, opened up at minus 107. So we've had 12 cents of movement full game. We get to the first 5 here with the Giants. It's sitting at minus 125 at most of these books. I can't get the Pinnacle line history, but I can get Bet Online's. They're sitting this at minus 125. This opened up at minus 114. It didn't open up till after midnight at Bet Online, the first 5. So let's get into the total here in this one, and I want to focus on the first 5 because that's where I got the first 5 under 4. It's right now at even money at 3.5. It opened up at 4 minus 108, and it got up to minus 124 before it moved to 3.5. Moved to 3.5 at 1 this morning. So right now we have that half run move to the under. Let's get into the cash flow for this spot. Cash flow wise, we have 70% of the ticket, 72% of the cash on the San Francisco Giants. And on the total, we have 76% of tickets, 76% cash on the over. Troy Torrance liking the over call here. And Vital saying Webb pitches better at home. If you want nothing to do with Giants, take the Astros team total under. When the Astros are away, they struggle to hit the team totals. Different angles for you to look into. Framber Valdez, again, coming off spectacular completo at in Anaheim, 9 innings, 4 hits, 8 Ks, 1 walk. On the road, he's been great all year. 2.67 ERA, 216 opponents batting average, 22 K, 6 walks over 27 innings. We have Logan Webb coming off a nice performance at Texas, 7 innings, 2 earned runs. At home, he's been very strong as always, 1.71 ERA, 235 opponents batting average. The Astros are hitting righties hard, 267, 769 OPS, but that didn't concern me, and I really did feel like I got a really strong line. Now, CLV, of course, doesn't always equal cash, but I really like the lines I got on 365. Daby Cab, best bet number 1 for you. Astros Giants, take it away.
I like your first 5 under. I don't mind the first 5 with the Giants either. This one was tough for me as far as a side because, I know that Webb might have a little bit better numbers, but for me, this is kind of a wash in starting pitching. I would take either of these guys. And, Valdez isn't just coming off one good start against LA. He had on June 1st, he went 7 innings, only gave up 2 hits and 1 earned run against Minnesota also. So he's coming off back-to-back starts where he only gave up 1 earned run, throwing really well. Again, I like that under. And I don't mind the Giants' first 5 here. I won't be looking at a side here. I would say, Houston right now, their bullpen is 13th in the big leagues with a 3.71 ERA. San Francisco is 21st with a 4.29 ERA. So just for that, both of these bullpens, they're not bad, but they're not great. I would stay away from a full game total here. I would only look at the under in the first 5. There's a little bit of a disparity here at the plate also. The Astros are averaging 5.33 runs per game, where the Giants are sitting at 4.22 runs per game. And that's just through the first 9 games in the month of June here. But Astros have been hitting the ball all season. All that being said, I don't really have a feel for the full game total or side. I like both of your bets here, Jimmy. I think those are good bets. I'm going to stick with what I know. I'm going to be with Yordan Alvarez here. I'm not going to take the plus money on the over 1.5 bases. I think Webb might be able to keep him down to just a base or so. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take him over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Alvarez has cashed this in 6 of his last 4 games. In his last 10 games, and listen closely because we only need a hit, a run, and an RBI. We need 2 of them, right? He's hitting 385 with 15 hits, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, and 10 runs scored in his last 10 games. So I'll say that again. He's got 11 RBIs, 10 runs scored, and 15 hits in his last 10 games. I think, big players show up in big games. You got 2 aces on the mound. It's going to be a low-scoring struggle. I get it, but I think when the time comes, Alvarez is going to show up. So Alvarez over 1.5 total bases, or 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs, excuse me.
And what was the juice?
Minus 128. It's another reason I took it. You very rarely are going to get that available.
You got it. Yordan Alvarez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs minus 128. Jose Bouquet. This is my only action I've come to the show with. So take it away. Astros, Giants.
Yeah, I'm off. I don't trust the Astros. I think they're a fraudulent bunch, obviously, as many people know. But we did cash that Blanco outs prop, which was nice, by the skin of my ass too. But I just kind of I've gone back and forth with this Giants team. I trust Logan Webb, but I just don't know if I can get there with the offense. And I don't trust the Astros offense at the end of the day either. So I just stayed off this game. I'll be watching as an interested observer, but nothing for me.
All right, there you go. Troy Torrance says, why are the Giants so much better during the day? Now, Plus Allen says, if Houston confirms this lineup with only 2 lefties, I'm going to smash the first 5 and the Astros team total under. Vitalis looked up the numbers. Astros went away on hitting their team total 12-21, down 13.45 units. Mr. Heat looking at Yordan Alvarez at plus 550 for a jack. Kelly McInnes on Houston. Jerry Davis on Houston first 5. There's always going to be love for Framber. And there is here. Mally Mal also liking the over 7.5. Same with Robert Franklin. And Professor Chris says barely off the Giants today. Model has the Giants at minus 127. Jason Torres says for those bets, Dabby, if he gets 1 hit that is an RBI, yes, that hits the over 1.5. Yep. It does. Yep.
If we just need a hit, a run, and an RBI. Two of them. It can be he can walk and he can score, and then he can get a hit later on. He can get a hit that's an RBI. There's a ton of ways you can cash this.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Daby Cab is in business. And then Daby Cab, we do not see you again until Rangers-Dodgers at the end of the card. So we will see you again in a while. But thank you for your look on Alvarez, and we will be talking soon, my friend.
Season.
There he is, Daby Cab. All right, we roll on. Next up for us, Jose, is 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Oakland Athletics 26-43. 11-23 on the road. San Diego Padres 36-35, 17-21 at home. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Shout out to our guy, the Sweaty Butcher, in the house. Oh, sorry, Mally Mal says, sorry, Mally Mal, I read that wrong. I thought you said, Kong also liked the over. I thought you meant. Okay, no, I feel you. Thank you for fixing that for me. You passed on the game. Okay, I feel you. Okay, here we go. Petco Park in San Diego, California. Why don't we start with the weather in San Diego? 69 Fahrenheit, warmer than usual. 7.4 miles per hour left to right, very slightly out, and very slightly warmer than usual. Getting to the line history for this one, we have King and Harris. First 5 total at 4.5, minus 122 to the under. This opened up at minus 112 to the under. So we've had 10 cents of movement to that first 5 under. On the full game, we are sitting here with an 8, minus 115 to the under. Open up minus 114 to the under, so no movement there. We get to the money line. We are sitting with this Padres home favorite at minus 192. They opened up at minus 187, just 5 cents of movement towards them. Let's get into the cash flow for this one. We have 98% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the over. 91% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the Padres. Get the Cartel says under. A's aren't hitting and Padres don't hit lefties. The work that we put into the Padres versus lefties is starting to change. It's starting to change. They still don't have power against lefties, but we're seeing them hit lefties better. Now 261 with a 701 OPS. Hogan Harris, the lefty, looked great at home versus the Jays. That was that 2-1 win. 6 innings, 3 Ks, 2 walks. He's been great since he got called up from AAA. From Sacramento. Michael King, 5-4, 3.58 ERA, 1.22 whip. His last start, 5 innings, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and a 10-3 win at home versus Arizona. He got lit up in that one start, and he's been much better. A's versus righties is 217, 622 since May 15th, but both bullpens have been so good here. And King has had that one horrible start, was at home. So his numbers are a little bit inflated with that 4.26 ERA, but he gets 42 Ks over 31 2/3. Shout out to Red Girl in the house. AOD ready to get to work. Vital says Padres first 5 minus a half or take the A's team total under. Says that King should shut them down. Ronnie and Bergia, though, he sees the A's plus 1.5 as a parlay piece. Take it away, Jose Bouquet, Harris, King, A's, Padres.
Yeah, no action here. I don't know what to make of Hogan Harris, honestly. And he's not a lefty that I trust, even a little bit against this Padres lineup. So if they're going to hit a lefty, and you said they're starting to do it a little better now, probably a lefty that's susceptible would be Hogan Harris, especially coming off of a solid start. I need to double check here. But yeah, he went 6 shutout innings against Toronto. I just don't really trust him coming off of maybe one of his best starts of his career here. Michael King has been decent to good all year. I just don't have a read of him. The Padres are a tough team to bet for me, so I stayed off of this game.
Yeah, it's just a little too public. Or I would back them first 5 minus a half. I would say that Jerry Davis's A's are hitting nothing. He's on Padres in the under. I would say that Michael King with the consecutive home starts should be able to pitch well against these guys. And Hogan Harris, I don't believe his numbers, But I in saying that, it's just too public with no movement or no real movement. And that just doesn't appeal to me. So I will put Padres first 5 minus a half with question marks around just so I'll look at it again, but it's just not enough for me here. So let's roll on and bring our guy TJ back on to the program. 6:35 p.m. Eastern. TJ, we have the Braves, who are 1 game under 500 on the road and just 6 games over 500 on the season, at the Baltimore Orioles, who are a dynamic group, 44-22. We're at Charm City, home of Von Polo here. Let's pull up the line history and the weather. First off, weather in Baltimore, 82 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour to right field. Stays between 6.5 and 4.5 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history for this spot. We have the Orioles at minus 125. They opened up at minus 120, 5 cents of movement towards them. And on the total, we are sitting here with an 8.5 minus 102. That opened up at 9. So we do have a move to the under, which we've seen. We keep talking about how great the Braves are as an under team. They have a really strong bullpen, and they're just not hitting. We got UPK Ayash Yala in the house. Says, give me the Orioles first 5 on Polo on Baltimore team total over. Robert Franklin on Baltimore team total over and the run line. Mally Mouse says he's got 4 plays in this game. Orioles money line, first 5 over 4.5, full game over 8.5, and the Orioles team total over 4.5. LJ from H-Town says Orioles 15-40. The run line last 20. And Dominic Merrill on that under in Oakland, San Diego. So we have Schwellenbach and Povich. 3 starts between the two in Major League Baseball. Schwellenbach has started twice. His last start, 9-0 loss to the Red Sox, 6 earned runs. He is throwing 9 2/3 innings over his 2 starts, 9 earned runs, 9 Ks, 3 walks, 2 jacks. Cade Povich allowed 6 earned runs in a 6-5 loss at the Blue Jays in his first start. The Braves are not hitting lefties at all, 230, 642, while the Orioles are smashing them, 264, 816 OPS. Both bullpens have been so good. TJ, best bet number 2 for game number 2 for you, because you've moved twice on the first one. Take it away here, Braves Orioles.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about Spencer Schwellenbach and the Braves in general. I don't know if we're still getting biased just from how good they've been the last few years or not, but I don't think this line is right here. I would put it at Baltimore about minus 140 before I, considered not playing it. But I'm going to give Povich a pass on his first major league start. The nerves are going. We don't really know how guys are going to react, but he's been brought up the right way. I like what Baltimore did with him. He started 2022 in high A, got up to double A, and then 23 double A to triple A, and then obviously 24 triple A to the majors. I think he's more of that, 3.18, 3.21 FIP type of pitcher. That's what he's been doing in the minors. And like I said, pass on that first game. Now, Schwellenbach is a whole nother story. The Braves have really rushed him through. He started 23 low A and then high A ball. And then this year he started in high A ball, double A minors. So no triple A. There's a big difference between high A, double A, and triple A ball. You got guys that are really fighting, very quality players in triple A. Excuse me. To not get that experience and go straight to the bigs, it makes a lot of sense. Oh, don't know what happened there. It just makes a lot of sense why he's gotten rocked, home runs allowed, horrible game scores. 3 walks, 9 Ks is not good. So Braves offense, obviously ice cold versus left-handed pitchers. I mean, worst in baseball, basically, batting average, OBP, OPS. And then you got Baltimore just crushing. They really turned it around a few weeks ago, and they started to play like one of the best teams in baseball again. Their bullpen is absolutely fantastic. I have some bias there because they've blown a few games for me, but they got a whip under 1, a low Sierra, low batting average against, very high K rate over the last 14 and 30. And then you look at your trends. You got the Braves are actually 0-3 as an away dog. They're 16 and 17 on the road. Baltimore 22 and 12 at home, 7 and 3 last 10, 19-11 is a home favorite. So to me, everything points to Baltimore here. A little scared because it's public. But yeah, I can get Baltimore minus 118 right now over at Heritage. So I'll be on Baltimore money line minus 118.
Orioles minus 119. I mean, that makes sense. Did it concern you that they were such a light favorite? I know that you were saying you take him up to minus 140. I mean, you're just saying that my numbers say I have an advantage here. Did you at all feel like? Sorry?
I mean, it is a little concerning, but I think that line is where it's at because of Povich, because of what he did in that first start. Not looking too deep into his numbers, not believing in him to do well in his first home start. So yeah, I think that all factors into it. But like I said, I'm a little higher on him probably than the market line was set.
Jose Bouquet. We have 2 pitchers from Nebraska. Our guy Rodney Barton says it's a great game today to watch. Both Cade and Spencer were teammates at Nebraska. Now they're pitching against each other in the show. Pretty awesome. Take it away.
You want to guess? You want to guess who the last pair of college teammates were to pitch against each other? Here's your only hint.
Oh no, I got it. I think I've got it. Got it. Trevor Bauer.
No.
Okay, damn. I thought it was when Trevor Bauer went up against Garrett Cole.
No, these guys pitched yesterday. They didn't pitch against each other yesterday. Yeah, they didn't pitch yesterday against each other, but they pitched yesterday individually.
Oh, okay.
It is Florida teammates Dane Dunning and Brady Singer. Very interesting there.
Oh, yeah, good call.
I had no idea. I just, when someone, I forgot who already said it, but when they said that, I went to go look up. I was curious to see. I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm just like you in this aspect, Jimmy. I love romanticizing baseball. These guys fucking pitched in college with each other, saw the grind, now see each other in the majors. How much motivation is that to go 0 for 0 for your boy here? Braves offense not that good. Schwellenbach coming off of getting destroyed. I trust Cade Povich a lot more, honestly. I don't trust pitching prospects from the Braves right now because, obviously they haven't had many high draft picks. So I'd like the under here. And here's the thing. I've been trying to avoid first 5 unders been desperately trying, and I think I am going to take one here. First 5 under 5, I believe, is the best I'm going to get, minus 125. Got a lot of room there to operate. It's going down. And I don't love taking juice totals. And again, my first 5 records have not been the best this year, totals wise, but I just love this. Give me that romantic 0 for 0 going against each other. First time in Nebraska program history. Come on. Unders for me. First 5 under, I should say, for me here.
First 5 under 5 minus 125. Did you think about moving on that as well, TJ, or your disbelief in Schwellenbach caught you off it?
Yeah, I can't bet the under with the way the Baltimore's hitting and Schwellenbach. I get it though. First 5, I like the angle there. But I might consider full game before I did the first 5, just because of the bullpen.
Shout out to Slatsy. Yeah, I had an inkling that was going to be the case. Slatsy, Brady Oliveira out Thursday versus the Red Blacks. It's going to be a really fun cap for us tomorrow. It's the only game I haven't bet at this point. All right. And thank you, Slatsy. All right, there we go. We have TJ on the Orioles money line minus 119. Jose on the first 5 under 5 at minus 125. Now, TJ will be back joining us here in a few games because he's got back-to-back Phillies, Red Sox, and Pirates, Cardinals to finish off his card. So, TJ, excellent work, and we will see you again here shortly. Jose and I have Nationals Tigers at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. These Tigers 15-18 at home.
What a pitching matchup for us here. This hurts the heart.
Well, Reese Olson has looked so bad the last 2 starts. So I backed him against – I didn't back him. I backed the under against Tobias Myers, and Tobias Myers shoved. He did his job. And Reese Olson, a second straight horrific start. And then this one happened at home. So it really threw me for a loop. Jake Irvin on the bump for the Nats of the 15 last bets here on the show from our guy TJ. One of them was Irvin under 1.5 walks, and he had 2 walks. So that was one of his 2 losses of the last 15 bets. TJ running real nice, and Irvin almost got there. Last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 Ks, 2 walks, and a 2-1 win at home versus the Braves. He's been great all year. 3.12 ERA, 1.03 WHIP, and he's striking out a lot more than we're used. They're striking out a lot more batters than we're used to. 64 Ks over 75 innings. Then we have on the road, he's been very good. 3-1, 2.68 ERA, 47 innings, 42 Ks, 192 opponent's batting average. Billy Friedrich says, is Jimmy going to DFA Reese Olson from his team? I just don't know what to do with him. I backed him, believed in him to have the bounce back start, and he didn't. And now I'm, perplexed. So here we go. Reese, 12 hits in that 10-0 loss at home to the Brewers in 4 innings, 8 earned runs. Did not look good. He's been very strong at home. 2.84 ERA, 227 opponent's batting average, despite allowing 8 earned runs in that last start. You can see how good he was throwing. Neither team's hitting. Nats versus righties since May 15th, 231, 655 OPS. Tigers versus righties, 234, 689 OPS. And both bullpens have been very bad. Gerald Jones says best bet today, Washington first 5. Mr. Heat on Irvin under 4.5 hits allowed. Professor Chris says model is Nats at plus 111. So here we go. Malamau says, I love seeing we all loving the Nats. Music to his ears. Gifted Cartel says Nationals money line. Irvin pitched better on the road. Don't trust Tigers in the spot with a guy on the mound. With this guy on the mound, they never back him with any offense. So let's take a look at the situation here. We know 84 Fahrenheit, 11.7 miles per hour in, stays between 10.8 and 12.3 in. So it's very nice weather for the pitching staff. Billy Strick says this seems like another first 3 under. Yesterday's first 3 under cashed pretty easily. 74% of tickets, 94% of cash is on the Detroit Tigers. That does surprise me. 74 and 94. Let's take a look at the line history then. Detroit sitting right now at minus 121. They opened up at minus 132. So there's been a big move towards the Washington Nationals. It's hard to imagine that people watching Reese would want to back him here. From a total standpoint, 99% of tickets, 98% cash on the over, 99 and 98 on this over. And the line is sitting here at 7.5, minus 109 to the under. This opened up at 8 and moved to 7.5 within 4 minutes. Very, very, very interesting. Vitalis, very quickly, I'll answer your question. I opened up 0-2. Even though I was heavy on the unders, I tied them to the Bombers' money lines. So I opened up 0-2, and I was pretty upset. I went 3-1 on the weekend games. So I'm 3-3. And I feel like I capped it better than the record shows. But I've moved on all my CFL action. I moved on Monday, so that's just on my Twitter or my X or whatever it's called. So here we go, Jose. Take it away. Nationals, Tigers.
Yeah, I think I'm going to double up on the Nationals here. So I'm sure everyone that gambles in here has looked up or seen Odd Sharks betting reports. Like they give you like your first 5 best pitchers and all that stuff. We've all seen that before, I'm sure. They do a least and most profitable pitcher now as well. They're starting to step it up a little bit. Money won and money lost for pitchers. I find that to be, I guess, a little interesting. I'm assuming it's just full game money line. Trevor Rogers, Andrew Heaney, Cutter Crawford, Reese Olson, the top least profitable pitchers this year. Pretty surprising. Because again, obviously Reese pitching really well, just the Tigers, never come through for him. So I'm going to trust my guy. He's in my rotation. I've been having success just betting my guys in my rotation and trusting them, and I'm going to do that here. I'd love a little reverse line movement as well. Obviously, all the money on the Tigers line going to the Nationals. I like that. So Nationals first 5 full game for me. First 5 plus 105, full game plus 111.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I guess I have a bias towards Reese Olson. That's why I'm not joining you guys. Huh. Very, very, very interesting. Okay, sorry, Jose, can you give me your action again?
Was first 5 and full game. First 5 plus 105, full game plus 111.
You got it. Jose on the Nats first 5 and full game.
And I was very close to taking Nats first 5 yesterday, and thank God I didn't, because grand slam in the bottom of the 5th, and it gave the Tigers a 4-3 lead, and the Nationals ended up winning full game, and I was lucky to have full game. I'm just going the first 5 here because I cannot simply imagine another first 5 collapse like that. So I like the better pitcher, and I think that we have just as good of an offense.
Yeah, no, that's all fair. That's all fair. I'm not moving on it, although I probably should. Let's roll on. 6:50 p.m. Eastern with the Chicago Cubs at the Tampa Bay Rays. Cubs 32-35, 14-22 on the road. Rays 32-35, 18-22 at home. We're at the Trop, St. Petersburg. Javier Assad versus Aaron Savali. Savali had that really difficult task of facing the Orioles in back-to-back starts, and the first start was really good. The last start was not as good. 6-3 loss at home, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 8 Ks, and 1 walk. Savali's had a tough year, 5.51 ERA. 13 home runs allowed over 67 innings, a 1.36 whip. Assad has been really good this year. On the road, he's not been as good as he has been at Wrigley. On the road, 2-2, 3.68 ERA, 232 opponents batting average. We have wine time on the Rays money line and Troy Torrance on the Cubs first 5. Billy Friedrich says Cubs most overrated 32-35 team of all time, and Robert Franklin on the under 7.5, leaning towards the Cubs.
I think Billy Friedrich's White Sox underwear are showing a little bit in that comment, but I don't necessarily disagree with you, Billy. And the line movement in this game has been ridiculous as well.
The Rays versus the righties since May 15th are by far the worst in baseball. 200, 582 OPS. Cubs, 228, 703 aren't hitting them either. Rays bullpen has been improving. Now 4.04 ERA since May 15th. Cubs has struggled. A Gifted Cartel says Cubs team total over 3.5. Don't trust the Rays bats. They aren't hitting righties. Savali's the perfect victim against the Cubs right now. Cubs are in the top 10 against righties. And Billy Friedrich may be able to get on a spite bet against the Rays. Now, spite bets have to be against an individual. You have to have somebody, whether it's a friend or a family member or just someone a colleague that is in your head, and then you need to open up that goddamn wallet and go bigger just to shut the motherfucker up. So I don't think a spite bet is.
We're talking to you, Mike M.
I don't think it's against the team. I think it's just against. But no, Mike M's been very good to me. It's this friendship
Yeah.
has helped me financially. My dislike, but Rod Zawacki added to the Panthers because Rod Zawacki was so bullish on the Oilers and God. And then dude, those are two great cappers. Let me also say it also adds to the fun when you go up against top cappers like those two. But let's get into the line history here. Jose has already prefaced that there's been lots of movement. Let's talk about this total. Sitting at 8 minus 106 to the under. This opened up at 8, dropped to 7.5, and it came back to 8. Came back to 8 about 40 minutes ago. Right now, it's not only come back to 8, but it's juiced to the over. We have 6 cents of movement towards that over. Get to the money line here in this one. We have it sitting at minus 107 for the Rays. They opened up at minus 117. 10 cents of movement towards the Cubbies. Cubbies opened up last night at plus 103, and right now they're minus 107. So we have a market move towards the Chicago Cubs. Hunter Engelhart on Cubs first half money line and 3 units on Cubs first half team total over 2.5 at plus 145.
Wow.
Saturated says adopting other people's spike bets have been good to me recently. Yeah, I know. You just want to be around somebody has to have spike. And it doesn't have to be you. No, that's interesting, Saturated. I like it. Let's get to the cash flow then for this one. 85% of tickets, 86% of cash on the over. It's gone to 7.5, back up to 8. Now juiced to the over. And just 19% of tickets and 34% of cash on the Cubs. 19 and 34 on the Cubs. You know, the thing that's made this and the Nats tricky is I don't know who would be betting the Tigers or the Rays. I don't know and it says 76%. Like, what am I? It feels like I'm missing something. It doesn't feel like I'm making perfect sense here. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe you can make it make sense, Jose. Take it away, Cubbies, Rays.
I love this Chicago shit talk we have going on in the chat right now. Shout out to the White Sox and Cubs. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Cubs here. I'll take them first 5. So Billy Fruger can point and laugh at them when they blow the game, bullpen wise. But I'll trust Assad. I'll trust this kind of disappointing, not kind of, I guess, very disappointing Cubs offense here, and I'll roll with them first 5 money line. But it's gonna be an interesting game to say the least. Like you said, that market movements is very interesting to me personally. Obviously, 81 and 66 on the Rays, and we keep moving towards the Cubs. I find that usually appealing. So I like the Cubs. It's going to be very interesting. And Troy Torrance is showing his Cubs underwear now with the Cubs to win the division plus 500 best bet. So very interesting to see all the sides of Chicago be represented today.
So, Jose, what are you making official?
Cubs first 5 minus 108.
So for me here, JPZ giving us the stats last time, 194 batting average against the righties. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day, and I should have said that off the top, is the Chicago Cubs. Spreadsheet play of the day dog is the Cubs.
Oh, I also have some surprises in this card. There's 2 surprises in this card.
Ron Crawford now 13-9 plus 9.13 units with the spreadsheet dog plays of the day. So let me get that here. Make sure it's copied and pasted under the game. The thing for me that I can't, that I've struggled with, I struggle with is gambling. I just straight up struggle with it. In these 2 spots here, we have the Rays, who Savali, you go to ESPN and the front page, you'll see he's 2-5 with a 5.51 ERA and a 1.36 whip going up against a pitcher who's been very good this year, 2.74 ERA, 1.22 whip. So if that's the case, then how would 81% of the tickets be on the Tampa Bay Rays against a team that's very popular in the Cubs? Like, I can't quantify that. I can't. And how would 74% of the tickets on being on Detroit when clearly Reese Olson's looked awful in 2 games in a row? The Nats are 500 on the road. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I can't. That's not the situation I want to be up against because I can't. I'm confused by it. So I'm going to, again, stay off of this spot. I know I've only moved on that Giants-Astros game, but I can't. I can't explain it. Can you explain why 81% of the tickets would be on the Rays team? Is it just because the Cubs are so bad on the road?
Well, I would say that the Cubs have been rather cold recently, but I looked at their form. Last 10 Rays on a 4-game losing streak here as well. So it's kind of surprising. And they're both on 4-6 their last 10. Cubs won yesterday, so great. But I do think that, and I should make sure my shit's updated actually to make sure these standings are updated. But I do think it's interesting that all the money's on the Rays, but I think it might be, like, oh, the Rays, they're so analytical. Look at them go, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, I had to refresh. So the Rays won last night and the Cubs lost. So there we go.
Savali once was a pitcher that you trusted at home. I mean, he's no Eflin, but that's what he's done this year at home. I just popped it in the chat for you. Troy Torrance says, because Cubs went on a 10-game losing streak when the public hammered them every game. Joe Yerford says, Tampa at home has respect in the market, but maybe not this year. And Hunter Englehart's on the first 3 under 1.5 at plus 115.
Sheesh, that's a sweat.
All right.
Shout out to Hunter.
Jose on the Cubs first 5 minus 108. Let's move on. Next ball on the board. 7:10 p.m. Eastern with the Cleveland Guardians at the Cincinnati Reds. We're at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Morgan Spooner gave us the Pissy Cheerios play of the day. Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases at even money. Guardians, Reds here. Bybee versus Lodolo. 2 pitchers that have looked really good of late, and Bybee's been great on the road, while Lodolo's been really good everywhere. A little worse, actually, at home than he's been on the road, but he's a pitcher that I really like as we move forward. Let's take a look at the weather to get us started here in Cincy. We have 84 Fahrenheit, 6.3 miles per hour right to left across the diamond. Dies down to 5.5 miles per hour. Professor Chris has 2 units here on the Guardians. Take a look at the line history, and same with Kelly McInnes. He's also on these Guardians. We have the Guardians sitting right now at minus 105. They opened up at plus 103, 8 cents of movement towards them. When we get to the total, we are sitting here with these Cleveland Guardians and Cincinnati Reds at an 8. It is juiced to the under at minus 113. This opened up at 8.5, and it moved to 8. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. We have 39% of tickets and 73% of cash on Cleveland. And on the total, we have 71% of tickets and 70% of cash on the under. I ask you, Jose, this is not the only game that we have here. We have the Royals as well. But I can't remember the last time there was tickets and cash on an under in Major League Baseball. It's been how long? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a while. There's been like a couple that are like close to 50-50, but yeah, this is a shocking one.
71% of tickets, 70% of the cash. Bybee coming off a 4-3 loss at home versus the Royals. 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 7 Ks and 1 walk. He's been very good this year. 3.73 ERA, 1.19 WHIP. He's been very good over his last 5 starts. On the road, 2.20 ERA, 221 opponents batting average, 35 Ks over 32 2/3. Nick Lodolo coming off allowing just a solo shot in a 3-2 win at home versus the Cubs. At home, 245 opponents batting average, 26 Ks and 27 2/3. Billy Friedrich says Guardians 11-2 in Bybee starts this year. And Hunter Engelhart says the play he is on is Cleveland first 5 plus 1.5 and first 5 under 4.5. So he's tied those together and got a plus 111. Troy says it's been months. So I knew it'd been at least 2 weeks, but Troy says it's been months since we've seen cash and tickets on and under. Guardians versus lefties since May 15th, pretty nice. 237, 747 OPS. Reds versus righties, 227, 687 OPS. Guardians, bullpen, Reds, bullpen, both being excellent. Sharon says, what do you make of this? Literally was looking at Tampa Bay team total first 5 sitting at 2.5 juice to the under. Now Tampa Bay first 5 team total over 1.5 juice to the over. Yeah, that's often the situation you have to deal with totals. Do you want a very juiced over or a very juiced under? And if you look at Hunter Engelhart and the way his average line is always plus money. So if he had the chance of taking, a 2.5 that, first 3 under 2.5, that's minus 145, he'll take the 1.5 at plus 115. So it's just depending what you believe, what you prefer, really. Take it away for us here, Jose. Guardians, Reds.
Yeah, I think this is a really tough game. I actually lean over. And 8 at Great American is super, super low. And like you guys have mentioned, we haven't seen 70% of bets and money on an under in so long. So I actually lean over in this game. I know the line's gone down and all that stuff, but I just think Great American's just very hitter friendly. The splits speak for themselves. I lean on over, but I just couldn't get there. This is a tough game for me, and I was pretty surprised to see the Guardians as dogs here. I know Nick Lodolo is very good, and arguably is the best pitcher on the staff. So I stayed off.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have enough of an edge. Kelly says it's a tiny ballpark. He's looking at the over as well. I could move on some of these spots. Like, I get why you guys are on the Nats, and I can understand the look on the Cubs. And Rem, most they have moved apartments. The Raccoons got them. They have moved apartments in the same building, right? Same building.
Yeah, same complex or whatever the fuck it's
Yeah.
called. But yeah, I actually went to, got to go to the front office, do bullshit. One of the maintenance guys came by and said, "Hey, dude, look at this," and showed me one of the raccoons just hanging out on our patio, just lounging. I was like, they just take up residence.
They
Good
did
fucking
take
luck,
over.
guys.
Professor Chris says my numbers have Guardians much better everywhere except at starting pitcher, and I don't have Lodolo ranked too much higher than Bybee. Yeah, no, all of this makes sense to me. Look, I get it. I get it. Bybee's been so good on the road. I don't know if I fully believe that he's that good on the road. And again, Morgan Spooner's play today. Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases at even money. Let's move on. Next up for us, 7:10 p.m. Eastern with the Miami Marlins 23-43, 11-18 on the road. The New York Mets 28-37, 13-23 at home. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Let's get over to the weather there in Queens. We have went past it, I guess. 73 Fahrenheit, 11.5 miles per hour to left center. So it goes from 11.5 down to 9.6, but it's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. Gift the Cartel says, what do you think about the nerfy? Which spot, Gift the Cartel? The one we just spoke of in Guardians Reds? Let me also say this, Gift the Cartel, that I would rather have first three under than a nerfy. The one pitch you can pitch really well, and one pitch gets away from you and it gets taken out. I mean, I'm not comfortable. It makes, as a gambler, I don't like it. Like, I'd rather, if I feel like I have an edge, I want a little bit more. Now, I get why people bet them and you trust, but I'm not the best guy for nerfies. It makes my anxiety skyrocket. Braxton Garrett versus David Peterson, two lefties. And I'm not really someone who's got much anxiety, but give me a first inning bet and you'll see it. We have this total sitting at 7.5. It's minus 107 to the under. This opened up at 7.5, minus 113 to the over, and it got to 8 at 10:23 this morning. Then back to 7.5. That was only 4A into 8. Let's get over to the money line here for this one. I screwed that up. Let's get over to the money line here. We have the Mets right now sitting at minus 151. They opened up at minus 144, 7 cents of movement towards them. Malamal says the one thing about David Peterson, though, at home, I got to lean Mets again, first 5, but he won't be touching. Sharon liking the nerfy here. And Hunter says he's also furious of the Nats yesterday. I'd watched in first half plus a half, and the first half Yankees money line plus 238.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Grand slam, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th here. Professor Chris says, I don't get nervous unless you can measure how likely a team is to score in the first inning, which happens to be the highest scoring inning. Mr. Heat says Pete Alonso owns Garrett, and Kelly McInnes on Miami money line at plus 125. I tell you, one pitcher that has me flummoxed is Braxton Garrett. I don't know when he's going to shove and when he's not going to. I don't know what to do with him. He's had such a disjointed short season here in 26 and the third innings. His last start was horrific. 5-3 loss at home versus the Rays. Now we know the Rays have been raking lefties, and the Mets are hitting lefties hard as well. 284, 825 OPS. Marlins versus lefties just 234, 627 OPS. Yes, I think Braxton Garrett's a better pitcher than David Peterson, but which lineup are you more nervous about? And then you have this huge advantage in the bullpen for the Marlins compared to this Mets bullpen that's been an absolute mess. So this is a pretty tricky spot. Cash flow wise, 95% of tickets, 95% of cash on the over, and 81% of tickets and 88% of cash on the New York Mets. Take it away, Jose. Marlins Mets.
Yeah, I lean Mets here. I mean, obviously, you just said the Mets crush lefties best over this period of time. Let me double check what time I had. The 19th to today. So last month to today, it's 162 weighted runs created plus, best in the league against lefties. I lean them. I like the Mets first 5, but I just didn't move on it. A little bit too juicy, and I don't like taking first 5 minus a halves either. David Peterson is a good lefty, and I think, I don't think I know that the Marlins can't hit lefties. Full season, dead last, 68 weighted runs created plus, and over that previous set of time, 79 weighted runs created plus is 70 or 26, barely above last. So I like the Mets here. I would take them in some form or fashion if they were less juice. I perhaps lean under as well. Because if you don't think that one team is going to contribute months, that typically leads to good under, and you just hope that the Mets don't score it all by themselves. And you mentioned, Jimmy, that the Marlins bullpen has been a little better recently in the last few weeks as well. So full game under would be my look in this game, but no action.
Well, the big titty Swedish girlfriend play today is the Orioles money line. So Londo, yes, the big titty Swedish girlfriend play.
Londo, just call that the Helga. We all know what you mean.
He is locked and loaded there. And Francisco Lindor is the stacks play of the day, over 1.5 bases for our guy Justin. I don't know how you can have a sense of what Braxton Garrett's going to do. Other than getting touched by the Rays, they're getting touched by a team that hits lefties hard. And if that's the case, then maybe the Mets should just be back to first 5. But you have to take them on the -0.5 because they're juiced and they're very, very public. And that just doesn't appeal to me at all. A -0.5, I don't mind betting it. Look, we took the Phillies yesterday, but there was concern by people in the marketplace because they were flying back from the UK, which we didn't have.
And both those games did go under yesterday, I believe.
Yeah. All right. God, I know I'm sitting here on the fence a lot, but I've got 2 bets I really, really like. It's hard for me to. I'm going to need to find a legit edge.
This is practice for the All-Star game, or All-Star break, I should say, a week before.
Yeah, what it is. This always is usual. This usually happens for me when I'm running hot. I tighten the ship up, but it's just not enough for me. Let's bring back our guy TJ. He's got back-to-back action for us here. TJ, welcome back. You're here for Phillies Red Sox at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Christopher Sanchez versus Slick Nick Pivetta.
Jimmy, can I give you some breaking news?
Yes.
The breaking news is that we have taints. Double taint Wednesday. 2 of them. Starting here in the under in this game. Under 8.5 for Matty I. Shout out to Taint.
Taint is on the under 8.5 here in this one. Let's talk about Phillies Red Sox. Shout out to Matty Ice. Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Who's doing that with the mic? Okay.
DJ's typing.
Okay. Oh, it's typing. Okay, sorry. It sounded like Mike worked there. Okay, Phillies, Red Sox, Fenway Park, Boston, Massachusetts. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have Sanchez and the Phillies sitting at -124. They opened up at -117, 8 cents of movement towards Sanchez and the Phillies. Let's get to the total here in this one. We have it sitting at 8, -110 to the under. This opened up at 8.5 and didn't move to 8 until an hour and 21 minutes ago. Get into the cash flow for this one. From a cash flow perspective, Phillies, Red Sox, we have 79. Oh, shit. Sorry. Let me go back here. We have 79% of the tickets, 99% of the cash on the Phillies. 79 and 99. From a total standpoint, we have 63 and 63 on the over. Mikey, money in the house. Grandma is wearing your sister's panties again. Play today is the Phillies and the under 8.5. GH is a Swedish touch. Jimmy knows that from his days in Vancouver. Man, the Swedish touch. There was no spot that got talked about more than the Swedish touch. Very expensive. Very, very expensive place there.
I'm immediately
call.
interested.
Oh, yes. It deserved all of your interest. The Swedish,
And then suddenly none of it?
Suddenly no interest whatsoever. Nick Pivetta coming off a brilliant start at home versus the Braves. Now, we know the Braves aren't hitting, but you have to think that Slick Nick is starting to get his shit together. Those first 2 starts of the year were spectacular. And then, yeah, GH says top shelf. It was elite. It was very, very nice. Phillies first righties, 237, 674 OPS. That's not impressive. Red Sox versus lefties, 250, 689 OPS. No power either. Phillies bullpen's a huge advantage on the Red Sox bullpen. Let's talk about Sanchez. He's been so good this year. 2.71 ERA, 1.34 whip. It looks very strong. Coming off a great start at home versus the Brewers. But on the road, are we starting to see an inkling of susceptibility here? Just 19 Ks with 13 walks, a 285 opponent's batting average. Is he somebody that we maybe can get to now? Mikey Money, sorry, where did I put it? Mikey Money here with the Phillies and the under 8.5 at plus 240. TJ, take it away. Best bet. Taint also on the under. What's your plan here, TJ?
To me, this one stood out in my model as way under the 8.5. So I'm going to dig into that a little bit to find out why I'm off market. And I look at the last 30 a lot for pitchers. Both these guys have Sierras under 3. Obviously, we can talk about ERA. I don't really think ERA matters that much, but expected ERAs in the low 3s, expected FIPS in the low 3s. You got a Red Sox team that's cold against lefties, below it, certainly below average over the last 14 and last 30. Phillies cold against righties. I think we see a little bit of that. People said the travel wasn't that important or didn't have that much of an effect. Yeah, they came out and won yesterday, but it's usually 2 or 3 days after the travel, in my opinion, that will get to you a little bit. So I could see the offenses struggling on both sides here. There's a couple 8.5s left, so I'm going to go under 8.5, minus 119 at Bet Online. I really like the 8.5 if you can get it. There's a lot of 8s. DraftKings actually has it minus 120 still. So I have this thing in the low 7s in my model. So under 8.5 just makes a lot of sense to me here.
Hunter, what do you not think the Phillies are cold against righties? I'm kind of confused by your comment. If you could add that in, because according to my numbers, they are as well. So hit me with that. Troy Torrance says Red Sox are just a bad baseball team. Under 8.5 at minus 120 for TJ. Under 8.5 for Taint. Sports money tying the Phillies with that under 8.5. Jose Bouquet, your plan?
Yeah, so obviously shout out to Kyle Schwarber. Home run immediately cashes for us. Here's the thing. This is one of those cases where I think you should just go back to it until it doesn't cash again. Now, Kyle Schwarber, this is kind of one of this. It's Kyle Schwarber time. Here is splits month over month, career-wise, and not just 1 year. May, 202 batting average, 37 home runs. July, 33 home runs, 209 batting average. June, 250 batting average, 57 home runs, 123 RBIs for his career. You'll start seeing the post. It's June. Kyle Schwarber's here. Blah blah blah. He had a better start to his season than he usually does, and he started off June a little slower than he usually does. But 2 home runs yesterday. Loves hitting at Fenway. Hitter-friendly park. I'm going right back to the well. Kyle Schwarber home run plus 270 this time. I got it yesterday at plus 225. I didn't love that, but we still cashed. That was great. I just think it's one of those things where you just kind of got to bet Kyle Schwarber bases, home run, whatever you want to bet to get it here. And I think he's just going to keep smashing this month. And, just very helpful that he's back in his old stomping grounds, comfortable, et cetera, et cetera. So if you've cashed with Harper and you've cashed with Schwarber already in the last 2 games that we've had here with the Phillies, Just take some of those winnings, roll it over again with Schwarber here. And in an ideal world, you take some more of those winnings and you roll it over on him again. So I'm on Kyle Schwarber home run. I was so close, Jimmy, yesterday to taking Kyle Schwarber first home run because I didn't like those odds at plus 225. It was at plus 550 for first home run. But I didn't, and I'm not going to here today because what are the odds of that again? He's 500 for first home run, but I'm going to stick with the plus 270 home run. It's going to be interesting to watch this game. And I will try to thread the needle here. TJ, I'll join you on the under here. I'm getting under 8.5, minus 119. I definitely do agree that Pivetta, he's been kind of up and down at times, but I'm hoping that last start does kind of lock him into gear and get him focused. His success is especially paramount for me because he is a huge, or not really huge, but he's going to be a trade deadline guy, and he's a free agent. So I would love for him to pitch well and go on a better team and get some decent prospects back for him. And I'm sure he's motivated as well to show his shit to everyone else. So, and against the Phillies is a great test. Former team, obviously, and Christopher Sanchez is a lefty, and the Red Sox can't hit lefties. We've talked about this all season. So, under 8.5 for me, minus 119, and Kyle Schwarber home run plus 270.
Do yourself a favor, Jose, and get a couple more books because you can get 360 at DraftKings and 368 at Heritage on that prop.
That's disgusting.
That is
that's sweet legal, TJ. That's what that is.
VPN, my friend. I'll send you a website.
So it's just Harper we have to worry about. I mean, it's not like, are the Phillies going to play Whit Merrifield tonight? I mean, I guess it's possible. What's their expected lineup? I'm a little surprised that Hunter is so against Pivetta here. He started the year so well. He got hurt. He came back and he didn't look good. But I felt like that was a statement start at home, and now he's back again. I want to back him here, but I'm uncomfortable. Let's just if you had a $500 bet on the first 5 side, Jose, who would you be back?
That's a good question. I think I probably still take the Phillies, honestly. I think Pivetta pitches well, but pitching well for Pivetta here would be 6 3-earned runs. I'd be pretty happy with. I don't expect him to go 5 shutty. And shout out to Nasty Nate who messaged me telling me that Red Sox first 3s have been cashing as well. So maybe something you can look at there. I don't have first 3s, obviously, but they've been cashing. I think first time through the order, he could pitch well. But obviously, you mentioned as well, Bryce Harper, concern.
Well, I guess, all of you guys on the under, Justin on the over, he's, going to be on that island with no confidence. I get that idea. I was interested in expecting Pivetta to pitch well here. Hunter says, I watch every Phillies inning. I'm off this game. I almost took the Red Sox team total of first 5 because I think they touched Sanchez, especially Red Sox hitting 300 plus against sinker ball guys. And Joe Yerger says Pivetta 4 straight home starts. Of course, he's starting to roll here. I want the Red Sox first 5. There's a 20-cent difference between the price of the Red Sox full game and first 5, Jose. 20-cent difference. That's
crazy.
Now that's a 365. It won't be as big at other books, but plus 105 to minus 115.
That is nuts. Yeah, I guess expecting some bullpen collapses tonight.
And your expectation of Pivetta tonight, TJ?
I think he pitches. He shoves. I mean, the line indicates, like what Jose said, that the books think there's some bullpen blowout because they have Pivetta and Sanchez under 2.5 earned runs at greater than minus 150. So, I mean, they're not thinking that either of these guys gets touched for more than a run or two. I'm not worried about Pivetta at all. Looking at his metrics, they all line up with what we're seeing on the surface stats.
Does make me want to take our first 5 under, though, instead of full game. But
I see the Phillies bullpen numbers, and I can't bet against that. I mean,
yeah,
they're good.
Londo, I am not on that Orioles game, but I will be cheering for you. Yes, I want the Red Sox first 5. I want Slick Nick here against, he's just got to get through Harper. I just feel like he's rolling right now. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, TJ, we have Pirates Cardinals at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Bailey Falter going up against Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray's not been pitching well the last 2 starts. Now, can he turn that around? Sure, but he's not been very good the last 2 starts. And that bothered me. It still bothers me that I didn't take a Port Dope Zone Cal Quantrill against Sonny Gray in that start. Now we got paid yesterday. Bailey Falter, 3-3, 3.69 ERA, 1.04 WHIP. He's been pretty good this year. Now he's coming off a rough start at home versus the Dodgers. He got lit up and smoked. He's been better on the road than he's been. I guess not really. He's been just pretty solid overall. Now, Sonny Gray has looked phenomenal in St. Louis here. Actually, I've got, God, what the hell's wrong with me? I thought I got a little bit of sleep last night. I don't know if these splits are right. I've got his road numbers here. I'm going to double check. Actually, TJ, can you get the splits for Sonny Gray here? Because I've written road when he's clearly at home, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing over here. So, TJ, give me Sonny Gray splits when you do your breakdown. Pirates versus righties, 237, 658 OPS. Cards versus lefties, 240, 682 OPS. And this Pirates bullpen's been horrific since May 15th, while the Cards bullpen's been pretty good and been pretty good all year. Let's get to the weather here to get started in St. Louis. We have, here we go. We have 87 Fahrenheit, 9.5 miles per hour right to left. Very slightly out at first and then just right to left. Let's get into the line history for this Cardinals spot. We have the total right now sitting at 8.5 minus 114 to the under. This opened up at 7.5, moved to 8, and is now at 8.5. Just a huge move to the over. Then when we get to the money line, we are sitting here with this one with the Cards at minus 174. Minus 174. They opened up at minus 169. So not much movement, but slight movement. Let's get over to the cash flow and then hand it over to TJ. Justin McKelvey with the Cards minus 1.5 in his pocket. We have 3% of the tickets in cash on the under. 97 on the over, and the books showing some concern. Then we have 77% of tickets and 90% of cash on the Cardinals, and the line's not really moving. Mally Mal thinks that this lefty in Bailey Falter is going to get touched by the St. Louis Cardinals. Take it away, TJ, your plan for Pirates Cardinals, and if you could touch on the splits for Sonny Gray, just so I know what the hell I did wrong.
Yeah, the splits for Gray, excellent at home. 161 batting average against, .601 OPS, 1.6 earned runs, and 0.9 home runs per 9. So by far, much better at home. Away is where it gets into a little bit of trouble. And Falter's been good away from home as well. But the metrics on Falter, 508 SIERA over his last 30, have me very concerned. Sonny Gray's metrics are absolutely outstanding. I know he got roughed up a little in the last 2 starts, but there's a lot of unlucky pitching or unlucky fielding involved there. So, one thing with Sonny Gray is he's not getting any run support. That's why his record is what it is. He's got a 3.51 runs per game for St. Louis in his outings. I don't see how Faulkner pitches well here. I don't see how the Cardinals don't get to him. Over the last 30, they're one of the best teams in baseball versus left-handed pitching as far as OPS, on base percentage numbers go. They're not striking out. So I was looking at a St. Louis team total over, a St. Louis -1, something in that range. I honestly haven't calculated that out yet because I also personally bet St. Louis money line, but I don't want to give that out on the show with all that vig. So let me calculate the -1 line and let me decide if that's better than the team total over or not. And I'll get back to you while Jose breaks that down.
Let's hear it, Jose. Troy looking to pounce on the Cards as well. Take it away for us, Jose. Busch Stadium, St. Louis at home to the Pirates.
Yeah, fun fact about this game. Pirates are 0-4 now after Paul Skeens starts. Obviously, Bailey Falter, the guy that pitches after Paul Skeens. So very funny. 0-4 in his last 4, it seems. But I didn't want to bet this game. I agree with you guys. Probably Cardinals or nothing. Again, maybe a little Paul Skeens hangover they feel. I don't know what it is, but shot to Wine Time in his under yesterday. Beautiful work there. 2-unit casher, no sweats either. But yeah, I like Sonny Gray at home. I just didn't want to lay the juice, take a run line -1 or anything like that. So I stayed off.
There you go. Pirates, Cardinals staying off. TJ, did you know what you want to make official here for record keeping purposes?
Yeah, I'm going to go St. Louis team total over 2.5 first 5 innings.
Cards, first 5, team total over 2.5. And what juice did you get on that?
That's -110 on DraftKings.
-110. Let me just quickly see if I can beat that for you here in this. Come on, where is it? Here we go. Let's just see if I can quickly beat that first 5, team total over 2.5, -102 at Pinnacle.
Okay, plus 102 at Heritage too. Just pulled that up.
Oh, let's
take
get
the
that.
plus 102 Heritage. Heritage is a great book for baseball. If you guys don't have it, it beats Bet Online. It beats some of those other ones.
Yeah, Peter Loshak used to talk very highly of that book. Cards first 5 under for Mikey Money. All right, let's roll on. TJ Cards first 5, team total over 2.5 at +102. TJ, who's on a 13-2 run here on our show. Of course, he had 10 in a row at one point as part of that. TJ is also on the under 8.5 at -120 in Philadelphia, Boston. Then TJ gave us, move over here. TJ gave us the Orioles at -119, and he doubled up on the Brewers -117 and the Blue Jays team total under 4.5. And TJ will be back with us again tomorrow. TJ, love capping with you, my friend. Keep climbing, keep getting that cash. 60.9% here for our friend TJ. And please support him on X at TJ. Do you have it there on your? There we go.
Yeah, it's right there on the screen. Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. It's a lot of fun. Starting to feel the pressure go down a little bit, giving picks on the show. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy, and it dissipates when you start cashing, which is what you've been doing. So keep up the great work, TJ, my man, and we will see you again tomorrow, my friend. There is our guy, TJ, in business.
Do we pressure people?
It's not you and I.
Yeah, it's not us. Yeah,
No,
it's obviously you want to succeed in front of everyone. But
exactly. Yeah, it's just the stakes are high on our own personal action, but it adds a huge element to it when you have friends and colleagues, tailing that stuff and things like that. I've always said, like, it's one thing you can screw up your own life quietly in the shadows. I do that all the time. But when you screw up other people's lives, it hurts.
Yeah, no, that's the thing I'm realizing as an adult. If I fuck up, it also affects Helga or something like that. That's the most annoying part of it all. Just let me and my mistakes manage myself. Yeah, but yeah.
I feel you. Shout out to Andrew G. Says we're stuck in the hospital for 3 hours. Great to be back home with my friends. We love you, Andrew G. Thank you for rocking with us, my friend. I'm sorry that you were stuck in the hospital. I'm happy that you are back home, capping sports with your friends. Let's move on. Speaking of friends, the New York Yankees rolling here, 48-21, 26-11 on the road. Kansas City Royals 39-29, 24-13 at home. Shout out to Tori Coker joining us. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's get into the weather here in Kansas City. 86 Fahrenheit, 13.4 miles per hour out to left field. Out to left center, and dies down to 9.5. But starts out pretty brisk, the weather. Let's get into the line history for this one. And we're also going to talk about the pitcher here, David Altavilla, for the Kansas City Royals, a pitcher that I did not know very much about, Dan Altavilla. He's a journeyman who pitched for your Boston Red Sox, at least in the organization. I guess he didn't even make it I guess he never didn't throw a major league pitch with the Red Sox, but he was in your minor league system last year, was pitching in AAA this year. Now just 27 1/3. So he only had, let's see here. I mean, it's just a bullpen day, and he's just going to come in
Yeah.
and pitch a little bit here. But
One
Dan,
inning probably.
one
'Cause
innings.
he's only gone 2 innings once this year.
Yeah, a pitcher I knew very, very little about here. Going up against Cody Poteet, 1.72 ERA, 0.96 WHIP through two. How many innings has he gone? 11 Ks, 4 walks. His last start, 2-1 extra inning loss at home versus Dodgers. He pitched pretty well. 4 2/3, 2 hits, 1 K, 3 walks. The Yankees are smashing righties, 266, 819 OPS since May 15th. And the Royals are hitting them hard as well, 263, 765 OPS. Royals bullpen has been bad, and you know that they are looking to fix it here as the deadline starts getting closer and closer. Let's take a look at the line history right now. The Yankees are sitting at minus 153. They opened up at minus 145, 8 cents of movement towards the New York Yankees. From a total side of things here, we are sitting with the 11 and 11. Wow. This opened up at 10.5, and the first move was to
That's
10.
crazy.
This didn't open up till 7:49 a.m., by the way. Then goes up to 10, down to 10. Then it starts climbing 10.5, and then 11, back down to 10.5, up to 11. We have a half run move to the over and a slight 8-cent move towards the Yankees. Let's get to the cash flow here for this one. 88% of tickets and 99% of the cash on the Yankees. And then you have 46% of tickets, 56% cash on the over. So take it away, Jose Bouquet. We have the Yankees at the Royals.
This feels like a challenge total here. This feels like when Coors has a 13 in their markings. This is a crazy high total here. Now, obviously, when there's a high total, you kind of expect there to be wind. 13 to, I guess 13.8 if we're going to be specific. Mile-an-hour winds blowing out. 12 down to 10 as the game goes on. So wind's blowing. And wine time's on the over, and I already learned my lesson yesterday. Not going against wine time, especially a 2-unit bet there. I lean under. I think a bullpen day typically happens when the bullpen comes together, pitches better. But we're getting Daniel Lynch as the primary for the Royals. Doesn't inspire confidence. I just ultimately didn't want to move on this game. And Cody Poteet's pitching really well, and it's going to be a real shame when big bad Garrett Cole kicks him out of the rotation. But no action for me on this game. If I had to make a game, if I had to make a play on this game, I'd probably just join wine time on the over, even though this total feels a little ridiculously high. But yeah, no thanks for me. I'll pass. Lean over with my guy wine time.
Troy Torrance heading to a meeting for the next 4 hours. He will see us tonight on the live stream.
4 hours. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
Troy, you better be fucking solving world hunger in those 4 hours. Like, Jesus, what can you guys be talking about for 4 hours?
Don't worry your pretty little head about this man stuff.
Okay,
Jose.
I just need Troy. I just want Troy on tonight. And by the way, Jimmy, I don't know if you saw this last week. Troy was there for the whole first quarter. He was feeling great. The Mavs were up. And then as the second the Celtics took the lead, Troy's like, all right, guys, see you later. Bye-bye. Leaves, never comes back. So I hope for your sake, for the stream's sake, for everyone's sake that likes Troy Torrance, the Mavs are up for 85% of this game.
Let's roll on to the next spot on the board here. And GH saying the meeting at the Swedish Touch, $500 an hour. It's very expensive at the Swedish Touch. Let's roll on. We have LA Angels at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks 32 and 35, 16 and 6. You guys don't worry. Please let's stay focused on the capping. Nobody is going to Josh's mother's basement waiting for him to finish jerking off and asking what action is he on in MLB. He comes to our show. So please, let's just stay focused.
You want to stay focused on something, Jimmy?
Yes.
Tank. Taint 2 on this game. Shout out to Matty Ice again. texted me these this morning. Appreciate you, Matty Ice, and hope you're doing well. Tank number 2, Arizona first 5 -1/2, even money. He says over the last 15 days, literally the worst hitting team against the righties are on the road, the Los Angeles Angels, versus the best home hitting righties team in the league or in the Arizona Diamondbacks, I should say. So shout out to Matty Ice, Arizona first 5 -1/2 for him.
I like it. I like Slade Ciccone. Jose Soriano, Slade Ciccone going up against each other. John Chow says, what was taint number 1? Taint number 1 was the same look as TJ, the under 8.5. The under 8.5 in which one? The Phillies Red Sox. That was taint number 1. So we have 2 spots from taint here.
And we've got taint going head to head against Pig Milk too. Angels first 5 +120 for Pig Milk. So boy, oh boy, should be interesting.
No worries, John. This spot obviously appealed to me. These are 2 young pitchers that I like. I like them both a lot. Jose Soriano, 3-5, 3.64 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 55 Ks over 64 and a third. Soriano's last start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 of which was earned, 1 K and 1 walk, and a 3-2 win at home versus the Padres. On the road, Soriano has been very good. 2.35 ERA, 199 opponents batting average. He's walked a little bit too many, but that seemed to happen early in the season rather than late. Slade Ciccone is only throwing 10 innings at home this year. So he's thrown 41 1/3 on the year. Just 10 are at home. His last start, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-3 win at the Padres. And the Angels are not hitting righties at all. The Diamondbacks aren't hitting righties with much power since May 15th, 267, 28 OPS. Both bullpens have struggled. We know that the roof is going to be closed. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have this total sitting at 8 at Pinnacle. This opened up at 9, so we've now moved that full run to the under. A big move towards the under. And when we get to the money line here, we have it sitting at -146 for Arizona, open up at -144. So 2 cents of movement there. Let's get, yes, JPZ, that is the corner of taint and TJ, that under 8.5. I should have probably moved on this under already. I didn't. And I got to go over exactly what was holding me off. 71% of tickets, 70% cash on that over. And on the money line, we are sitting here with 87% of tickets and 80% of cash on Arizona. And this line's not moving. I guess it was just Slade with only 10 innings at home. In those 10 innings, he's allowed 12 earned runs, 293 opponents batting average. I don't really know exactly what he's going to do here. I don't. Pig Milk play of the day, number 2, Angels first 5 money line at +1. Oh, no, that is his first one. First 5 money line at +120. Pig Milk play of the day, 28-20 plus 10.49 units. Jose Bouquet, take it away. Angels, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I didn't watch The Wire, so I don't know what happened, but this is like when one drug dealer sets up on one corner and then across the street, now you see your other rival drug dealer on the other side. I don't know what's going to happen on this first 5 here. I'm very interested to see how The Wire would have handled this kind of situation, but I'm very interested to see who comes out on top here between Taint and good old Pig Milk, is what they call it, cow milk, excuse me. But I don't have any action on this game. I thought it was a pretty tough pitching matchup. We both have fondness of this, both these guys. I struggle a little bit with Soriano, and I think it's more Angels related than Soriano. It is sad for him. He got his lightning stolen. He was the hardest throwing starter in baseball, and then Paul Skeens took his title and mantle very quickly. But yeah, I guess I'll agree with everyone in the chat. I lean under here, and honestly, I probably just go Diamondbacks. I just don't want to lay the juice here, but no action for me.
I think both pitchers pitch well here early. They would, obviously those numbers for Slade Ciccone at home are troubling, but the sample size is so tiny. You have to think that he's going to be able to shut down the Angels. Ricky Levine being hammering these team total unders last month, hitting over at 80% here. I don't see why both these pitchers don't look good early. This first 5 under 4.5 seems to be ripe for the taking.
Yeah, I can see it.
Engelhard on the first 5 under 3.5 at plus money. First 5 under 4 at minus 105. First 3 under 1.5. A total of 5 units spread out. I agree with this. I think I should have gotten over. I mean, obviously the market is telling us that the under is very, very much in play. If you can have concerns about these bullpens, which I do with both of them, then you can just stay off and focus on Slade and Jose delivering. And I don't see why we don't believe that they will do that here. Look, Slade's not been very good this year. We know he's got great stuff, but we also know that the Angels just can't hit righties at all. So
I have something completely off topic here. So I want to sneak this in after we're done with this game. So
okay, well, I think I'm going to move on this first 5 under 4.5. Wonder how early I need to get to it here. First 5 under.
You're going to be very surprised at what I have to say here. This will be one of the more surprising things you'll ever hear from me, and this will be something you learn about me, I guess, Jimmy.
Hunter saying both guys first time through the order are outstanding. I really believe in Soriano, and I know that Ciccone has good stuff. So Taint, number 2, Arizona first 5 minus a half at even money, going up against Briley Friedrich, who's on the Angels first 5 at plus 120. And I'm going to be on the first 5 under 4.5. Jose Bouquet, an oldie in the house. Thank you, my man. Hope all's going well for you. Jose, let's hear this fascinating news, please.
By the way, Kelly, great comment. Jimmy, did you get your bets in for the early games?
I've already bet the Houston, yes, and I didn't bet Colorado, Minnesota, which is going to be, and I'm not on the Brewers Toronto game, so I'm all good. I'm all good.
All right,
Thank you for asking.
We just need to check.
Well, you know what would have missed, right, on that horse racing stream. You know what would have missed? I would have missed putting in Bobrovsky for Conn Smythe.
Oh yeah, that would have been one where we might not have seen Jimmy. We really might not have seen Jimmy after that one, especially after game 1.
I was very thankful.
Here's my random story. So we just mentioned The Wire and Saturated, and everyone started saying that Omar's coming. My dad's name is Omar, and it got me thinking about this. I don't talk to my parents that much. Like I'm not very interested in like their stories and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an asshole. We don't talk that much. So my dad and Helga's dad talk, and Helga's dad told me this. I had no idea. So my dad was like a fucking Air Force dude in Venezuela. He just flew planes and shit. And obviously Venezuela, the Air Force and all the military stuff is not the most straightforward people. There's a little corruption in Venezuela. So I learned that my father used to help smuggle drugs in Venezuela. He was a plane, like a plane fighter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, flew planes. And
pilot. We like to use the term pilot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was looking for that word there. I couldn't find it. He's a pilot. There we go. And he flew planes, and like the Venezuelan government would be like, "Hey, we have this cargo for you. Go drop this off in Central America," and all this stuff. So I learned that about my father recently, and that's what made me think about that. So shout out to my dad, who was just flying planes and just dropping off drugs in South America, Central America, and wherever we had to go. So I had no idea. This was something I learned like last week.
And how did you learn it? The FBI came to the door, or did he tell you?
No. Shockingly enough, no. Helga's dad, who is a DEA officer, told me that they were just randomly talking about this, and I was like, "Oh, wow, Rich! I had no idea. It was very funny."
That is great stuff. Patrick McDonough says statute of limitations on federal drug smuggling 7 years. So we're
good. This is a long time ago. We're good.
You are good to go. That's a fascinating story. I'll be sure to mention it to Omar when I meet him.
Yeah, you should, because again, I was shocked to hear it, and I haven't even asked my dad about this. Like, why? What is my dad gonna? It's like, yeah, I did it, and then I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, no, it was very interesting to hear that from Helga's dad, and not even my dad.
I like it. All right. Jose. All right. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board. 2 games left before we get into NBA. We have the Chicago White Sox 17-5, 15-28 on the road. The Seattle Mariners 39-30, 23-11 at home. We are at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Jonathan Cannon another young pitcher from the White Sox organization pitching here, 3rd round pick in the 2022 draft. Now, he was a pick of the White Sox, so this wasn't one of their trade pickups. Let's take a look at, who Jonathan Cannon is, 23 years old, turning 24 here shortly. And he has had 3 starts in the show. He's throwing 16 and 2/3 innings this year, and 11 earned runs, 2 jacks, 17 Ks, and 4 walks. Not a bad K to walk ratio. This year in AAA, 5.50 ERA, 1.51 WHIP. Where has he excelled is the question. Where has Jonathan Cannon excelled? And the answer would be really nowhere. Mally Mouse says play on this game is the under 7.5 at -122. So that's John Cannon. So we just last saw him in the 7-2 win versus the Red Sox. They only let him go 3 innings. Going up against Bryce Miller, who's been so good at home. 4-2, 2.13 ERA, 169 opponent's batting average, 51 Ks and 12 walks. Being so good at home. Coming off a horrible loss at Kansas City. He struggled on the road, 7 earned runs. Billy Friedrich says Cannon is a gas can. White Sox first righties is 212, 621 OPS, and Mariners is 228, 676. And this White Sox bullpen has been so bad. So that is the situation here. Let's take a look at the weather. The weather here in Seattle, 59 Fahrenheit, 10.3 miles per hour left or right to left, and then it comes in. Then it starts blowing in. Let's get them here on the line history here. The first 5's up right now. So the first 5 is at 4.5. This opened up at 4.5, dropped down to 4, and back up to 4.5. It is heavily juiced to the under. So maybe it's a legit 4, not a real 4.5. Let's go into the full game here. This full game's at 7.5 -114 to the under. Open -109 to the under. 5 cents of movement towards the under. And then let's go to the money line. The money line has these Mariners at -241. They opened up at -234. 7 cents of movement towards them. Is that appealing to anybody? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. 92% of the tickets, 98% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners. And on the total, we are sitting here with 97% tickets, 98% cash on the over. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquet, White Sox Mariners.
Yeah, no action. Too big. Jonathan Cannon, I don't trust. Drew Thorpe, great job yesterday. Shout out to you, Billy Friedrich. But no action here, keeping it short and sweet. Just ridiculous price for the Mariners. So if I had to bet this game, I'd be taking a White Sox first 5 here again. And then doing what I think Billy Friedrich also said, once the White Sox go up in like the later parts of the game, just bet against them. They'll fall. So no action for me here again.
Oh, I also you did say that. I also rebet White Sox first 5 +0.5. I thought that meant you were doubling down.
Well, no. It was unfortunate there.
Yeah. But it wouldn't have really mattered here. I guess because I was also on that first 5 under, but
yeah, I'm just glad that you got the first 5 under canceled out as well. So it makes it a little palatable.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it a little bit more palatable. All right, Sweaty Butcher. It's no action again. It's as if you guys are betting with real money.
I know. Fuck me, Sweaty.
Wish we could just all play pretend like Josh Lauer. But okay, White Sox Mariners here. Do you think that the Mariners on the run line? I guess what is this? Sorry, let me just go back to this total one more time. Do you think that the Mariners on the run line is? I know that you don't like run line spots, but would this be one that you would be interested in?
I would be more. Excuse me. I'd be more interested in live betting it, because if the White Sox have a decent start like they tend to do, they're a profitable first 5 team this year. You can say that you're up around 4 units if you bet them first 5 every game. So if I was going to do it, I would probably try to live bet it. And it's obviously hard to live bet those things, but yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the final game here on the board. And welcome back our guy, the Magic Man, the host of Medicate Mondays. Please welcome back our guy, Dabra Kadabra, to the show. Dabby, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Still sitting here ready to make some money, man. I'm excited for this weekend. I I heard you guys talking about going into the game. Look, if you show up to American Airlines Stadium this weekend, they got screens outside, so we can all be out there. There will be hundreds of people out there, probably music, drinks, food. It'll be a good time. So just show up and we'll be there.
Texas Rangers, LA Dodgers here. We have the Gray Wolf. Obviously the Dodgers went off on Dan Dunning yesterday. What do they do here to the Gray Wolf? We haven't seen a lot of the Gray Wolf of late. He was on the IL with a groin injury, a non-arm related injury. That's something that Peter Lochak used to like backing. Didn't like backing a pitcher coming off the IL who had an arm-related injury, but that's not what happened to John Gray. So his last appearance was out of the bullpen. We haven't seen him start since May 21st. Out of the bullpen on June 8th, he looked really good. He's looked good all year. 2.12 ERA, 1.18 WHIP. Going up against Walker Buehler, 4.82 ERA, 1.46 WHIP in 28 innings. He's coming off getting touched at the Pirates. And at home, he's only thrown 16 innings this year with 6 earned runs allowed, 18 Ks and 4 walks. The Rangers versus righties since May 15th, 207, 620 OPS. Absolutely horrific. The Dodgers versus righties, 236, 720 OPS. And the Rangers bullpen's been a problem as well, while the Dodgers bullpen has been rolling. Let's get into the weather and then the line history and the cash flow and hand it over to Daby Cab. And then we have Dutch Boy Fresh up next for NBA. 67 Fahrenheit, 8.9 miles per hour to right field, goes from 8.9 to 7.2 miles per hour. Let's get to the line history here for this one. Sitting with an 8 minus 109 to the under. This opened up at 8.5 and has moved to 8. And on the money line, we are sitting here with a minus 188 on the LA Dodgers. It's opened up minus 175, so 13 cents of movement towards the Dodgers. And cash flow wise, we have 14% of tickets, 20% of the cash on the under. Most cappers on the over, despite this moving towards the under. And then we have 93% of tickets and 99% of the cash on the Dodgers. Doug says we beat the brakes off the Rangers yesterday. Daby Cab, take it away, Rangers, Dodgers.
Yeah, it makes sense why everybody's piling on the Dodgers. I get it. Rangers haven't been doing shit against righties. Lately it's been terrible, but really all season they've kind of sucked. One thing that's interesting here is I want to see Seager play against his old team. I think that he comes back today. I know he was questionable in game 1 and didn't make it. I saw when I looked earlier, his props were available. And I know that I should probably look somewhere else, but that's one way of judging it. I saw Seager's props available. I'm not betting that today, but I'd like to see him get back in against his old team. And I think he might get there. The Rangers have faced Buehler. He's seen him for 10 innings. They're 6 for 22 off of him. Shit, I know what that is. I think that's like 270. That's just a guess. It's 270 something average, but it's only 10 innings, so it's not a huge sample size. On the other side, Dodgers have seen John Gray a bunch. They're 25 for 95 with him. Their current roster with 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 home runs versus Gray. If you want to single out a few players, Freeman is 4 for 15 with a triple and a home run against Gray. Ohtani is 4 for 10 with 2 home runs against Gray. A lot of sample size for both pitchers. What I'm going to bet here today is I'm going to take Nathaniel Lowe over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. That'll be my first bet. You can get that at even money. I like the value on it. Lowe's hitting just over 260 on the season. If you pay attention, Bochy's been moving him up and down in the lineup, trying to figure something out, right? Trying to get this lineup to work. I think today he's going to get a higher spot in the lineup, like a 4 or a 5 spot. And I don't see any reason why he doesn't at least have some opportunity with runners in scoring position. So just give me 1 RBI single. That's all I need from you, Lowe. He's going to cash that ticket for us. I took Lowe on Sunday. Anybody that tuned in to say, hey, we cashed that then. So I'll be back on it again today. As far as my second bet, I really like the first 5 over. I have not got there yet. I just want to sit on it a little bit longer. So I think I'm going to take the first 5 over. You said it, though, Jimmy. Gray has been pitching pretty damn well this season. The only thing with Gray is he relies on that 2-seam a lot. And I feel like he's gonna leave a few pitches up over the plate for somebody like Ohtani or somebody like Freeman. A 2-seam is not a great pitch for a right-hander to throw against a lefty, and that is his bread and butter. And I feel like he's going to get hit on a couple of these 2-seams today. So I also like Ohtani's prop. But for right now, just put me on low, and that's it for right now.
And what was the juice on hits, runs, RBI?
Even money.
At plus 100. So a possible, obviously Waffles coming up in the chat. The possible would be the first 5 over. And you also had interest earlier in the Chicago Cubs first 5. And that was a move that Jose did bet. Jose did bet Javier Assad.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, don't bet that shit, Dabby. Don't bet that shit. But what's that record at now, Dabby?
I don't keep up with that record, Jose.
Yes, you do. You're the one that told me it was 26-4. You told me that.
Shut up.
This is facts only. You love it. You know the record. It's your favorite thing.
It is a pretty spectacular record. Not as good as your record with the Philadelphia Phillies. What is that sitting at right now?
Thank you. 16-1 on the season. I'll talk about that. Those are real bets that I made. When I bet the Phillies, I bet 17 Phillies games this season. I'm 16-1 when I bet them. That
is wild. And yeah, 7-0 here with us when you bet them.
I got to get rolling here midweek, Jimmy. My last 2 weekends have been pretty damn good. It's just my record here is just tracked Wednesday through Thursday. I got to get rolling on this midweek. It'll happen though.
And Friday, Wednesday through Friday. No, we believe in you. We believe in you very much. Nathaniel Lowe over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Daby Cab, which is also his move with Alvarez, right? When the Astros spot.
Yes.
And that one pops off in 2.5 hours. Jordan Alvarez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 128. That is Daby Cab's action. Daby Cab, before you go, tell everybody once more what's going on with you in Dallas this weekend. Jose going to be there as well. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, I want to say one last thing on this game, that Rangers Dodgers game. I've been watching the Rangers team total. I know how bad they hit against righties, but it's been going in their favor. It's at plus money right now for 3.5. If I get a decent number on an over 3, there is no chance that I'm not going to bet it, especially if Seager is back in the lineup. So I'm going to be watching that. It's the last game, so I got plenty of time to watch it. But if I get the right numbers, I wouldn't want anybody to consider this a waffle because I need the numbers, and I don't have the numbers right now. But if I get the right numbers, I will take a over 3. There's no doubt.
I love it. I love it. Now, Daby Cab, let us know what's going on in Dallas this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. So we're coming up for game 4, as Jose is hoping it'll be for the sweep. But I think the Mavericks take tonight, and there's going to be a lot of life on Friday night at American Airlines Center in downtown Dallas. Jose will be there. My guy Dutch is going to be there. Our Don of Pub Sports Radio, Slaughter's going to be there. T's going to show up. LJ's coming in town. We're going to have a blast, guys. We're going to drink, smoke, eat, talk to people, party, basically, gamble, all the good stuff. So if you can make it to Dallas on Friday, get here.
I love it, Daby Cab. Please follow Daby Cab on X at Daby Cab. 1-0 Rockies, and Fernando Mendoza saying, I'm telling you guys, Rockies ain't a joke. Daby Cab, thank you for rocking with us. Any last words for the Capper Sport and the show, my friend?
Yeah, I think I just froze the last 2 times I talked, Jimmy. I'm sorry if I did. They're still working out power shit out here, man. That tornado tore up everything, man. So sorry if you guys couldn't hear me. But I'll be back tomorrow, Jimmy. Let's get that money today, guys.
I love it. There he is, Daby Cab. We are coming off a very, very strong day in MLB, and we must continue it. Jose and I are both knocking on the door now to the black, a door we
door
want.
knocking. Get
yes.
it? Horses? Jason Worth?
Oh, that's great. Great stuff. Door knocking. Beautiful. Beautiful work from our friend Jose Bouquet. Let's review all action here in MLB. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today dog is the Chicago Cubs at plus 105. Reginald, we're going into NBA right now, my man.
Relax, Reginald.
No break tapping, man. We're going right into NBA. We got just the man for the job waiting in the wings here. We have Jose on the Brewers at minus 119, TJ on the Brewers at minus 117, and the Blue Jays team total under 4.5. Daby Cab's on yonder, Alvarez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs minus 128. BJ's best bet, Giants money line, and I moved on the Giants first 5 at minus 110, and the first 5 under 4 at minus 110, both last night around 8 or 9-ish. Then I do have question marks between Padres first 5 minus 0.5. And I'd prefer not to go up against this whole thing that they're not hitting lefties, but the stats are starting to show that they're beginning to hit them. I've got a lot of question marks there. I don't know if I move on it. TJ's on the Orioles minus 119. Jose's on the first 5 under 5 minus 125 in Atlanta, Baltimore. Jose's on the Nats first 5 plus 105 and full game at plus 111. Then we have the aforementioned Cubs spreadsheet dog play today from Ron Crawford, and Jose's on the Cubs first 5. Then Morgan Spooner, Pissy Cheerios play today. Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases. The big titty Swedish girlfriend play today from Londo, Orioles money line. Justin McKelvey Stacks play today. Lindor over 1.5 bases at plus 102. Grandma is wearing your sister's panties again. Play today is the Phillies and the under 8.5 at plus 240. Jose's on Schwarber home run again at plus 270 and the under 8.5. TJ's on the under 8.5. Taint is on the under 8.5. I'm going to be on the Red Sox first 5 in this one. TJ's on the Cards first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 102 in Pirates Cardinals. Yankees Royals we stayed off. I'm going to be on the first 5 under 4.5 in Angels Diamondbacks. Taint is on the Arizona first 5 minus a half at plus 100. And the Pig Milk play today that's up 10.49 units over 48 bets is the first 5 money line plus 120. White Sox Mariners no action. And then we have the final game on the board where Daby Cab gave us Nathaniel Lowe over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus 100. And that is our MLB breakdowns for today. Now, Jose Bouquet, I know you're heavily invested in your Celtics to take care of business in this series. And you know that I am on the other side in tonight's game.
That hurts.
Do you want to stick around here for the breakdown with our special guest?
I'll stick around. I've got like 5 more minutes that I can stick around with you here, Jimmy. Okay. So I'll do this off the top. And I won't even bother my guest, because when we share the screen with our next guest, he typically doesn't like when I turn into this person, you know. He doesn't like the truth that I spit out when I have to tell him that Kyrie Irving is the worst basketball player on the floor and he's going to continue to get shut down all series. By the way, I mean, I never make fun of our chatters. Ask Rem most. I never make fun of our chatters. Jay Smooth. One of the worst bets I've seen today, Jay Smooth. Kyrie Irving over 30 points, Jay Smooth? If it was over 15 points at plus 330, maybe you can get me there. Hell no. Celtics win this game again. Let everyone bet the Mavericks. Everyone feel good about the Mavericks. We've lost Porzingis. What are we going to do? And even if he doesn't, I'm still confident. Al Horford's fine. He's gotten a couple days to rest. Oh, the role players are going to get better at home. You know what they're not going to do? They're not going to get used to that NBA Finals pressure. And when they start missing shots, the crowd's going to go, oh, brother, here we go again. That crowd's going to get a little tight. So someone muted my mic. The Celtics are going to come out, smack them in the mouth. So guess what, Jimmy? Quickly. I'll give you 2 bets here.
Sure.
Race to 10 yet again. We're going to be on it. And of course, and if you don't know while we're watching the live stream, that's why I'm going to be freaking out for the first 5 minutes. But of course, come on, watch the live stream tonight. All of us are going to be there. A cast of characters all against me. Wham, Dutch, Troy, Billy, all of them, the world against me, Jimmy. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh at the face of danger here. Laugh at everyone believing in Kyrie's propaganda yet again here, Jimmy. Because guess what? There is no shot that fraudulent motherfucker does anything with future Finals MVP. I'll even put this down as a 3rd bet here. I have to go find this now, and I'm going to say it. Future Finals MVP Drew Holiday is going to put him in fucking Alcatraz. And Dutch knows this true. Dutch knows this. When Sam Hauser comes on the court, puts him in Alcatraz too. I can't wait. Luka, enjoy your 30 points. Go nuts, Luka. 30, 40, how much you want? Score as much as you want. Because you know what I know? He's not going to get anyone else involved. Kyrie's not going to do anyone else to help do anything else to make his team better. They're not going to do anything. And I'm not worried even a little bit here. So, Celtics money line, plus 125. I cannot wait. for that. I can actually bet the game here, and it's going to be great. I'm looking for the race to 10 right now, and the Drew Holiday MVP. So everyone in the chat, if you guys can do me a favor and help me out, because I think Drew Holiday MVP is like 19-1, and I think that's crazy. But I can't wait. It's going to be a great game, and of course, join us here, NBA Finals Game 3, and enjoy our next guest, who might give you more level-headed takes, but if you want the right ones, you know where to come. Right here.
There he is, Jose Bouquet. I do not agree with that analysis that he just delivered, and that will only make our live stream that much more enjoyable this evening. For our breakdown of Game 3 of the NBA Finals, please welcome to the show the freshest capper in the handicapping industry, coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, what's good, my guy? How are you?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. The NBA is a hell of a drug. And you looking at the plug. Yeah, man. Good to see you, my man. Good to be back with the chat. It's been a minute. Good to see you, my guy. How you been?
I've been good. Coming off a great day yesterday. It's been a nice run here for about maybe 8 days or so. Very, very much needed run. Part of the great run has been Operation Garcia destroying in these first two games. And so, it's really, it was one thing tracking it, for 2 years. It's another thing when you start betting it, because the focus is times 10 or times 100. I mean, when your money's on the line, it's just so much different. And I'm starting to see which spots succeed. And I was a little bullish with it, because the Pacers couldn't have been you need defense and you need star players.
Right.
Those are the two keys to it. You need defense and star players. You can't have a well-rounded basketball team. A well-rounded basketball team that doesn't play defense is the worst thing for it. So it's gone very well. It's been very helpful. I did make a big bet on Celtics Game 1 and series, which is very much in play. And then I pushed in Game 2. I had the Mavs +7, and I pushed in Game 2. I was very happy that there was no foul there at the end of the game. I know that was pretty wild for a lot of gamblers watching the no foul there for the last 18 seconds or so. But let's get to work, Dutch, and let's set this table up for everybody. Boston Celtics, Dallas Mavericks, American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. The big difference here is being the shooting of the Mavericks, 24.5% from 3 in this series and 36.1 overall in the playoffs. So, and then we have Dust saying Twins have bases loaded, 0 outs. Look, Dust, we went over those first time through the lineup numbers, and that was my original play, but you can't back Gomber when he's just so bad first time through the lineup. But be very curious to see how that all bangs out. Thanks for the heads up, Dust and Kelly. So for me, there's by far the biggest thing in this basketball game is not Kyrie coming home. It's not, are the Mavericks going to show character? Luka does look like his body's breaking down in the second half of games. It's none of that. It's not, will there be an answer home? It's all Kristaps Porzingis for me, completely and all and totally. They're just such a different team with that 7'4" unicorn out there. It's wild. They are unbeatable if he's healthy. I really don't see a team that can beat them in a 7-game series. When he's not healthy, they can beat average teams. Can they beat really good teams is the question. So thank you, Dust, my man. So let's roll here and set this one up. I have already moved on the Mavs -2.5, but also Pop sent in 200 on the Celtics +1.5, and that did not get sent in. So I basically have the double up here, but I have interest in the first half as well for the Mavericks. I really, and I'll break this down more, but I don't know how close this basketball game is going to be. And if I were the Celtics, I would not have Porzingis in the lineup tonight. Let's take a look at the line history here. We have Dallas -2.5 at -117. They opened up -1.5 at -111. That lasted for 3 minutes. Moves to -2, moves to -2.5, which is where it is right now. You saw other books move it to 3 with the announcement of Porzingis' injury. Pinnacle never did. So they're -117, which means there will be 3s everywhere here shortly. From a total side of things, we are sitting here with 2 easy unders to get it all started and a 214. This opened up at 212.5 and it's up to 214. There was a move to 214.5 this morning. There was a 1.5 point move to the over at 9:54 a.m. this morning, moving it up to 214.5, and it's since come back. Sweaty Butcher says Porzingis will play. He's participating in shooting around right now. Walked into the arena smooth, no limping. That's important. So here we go. I'm going to set this up, and then we'll hear from our expert, Dutch Boy Fresh. Again, this injury unrelated to the previous right calf injury. And this would be his first appearance in Dallas since being traded in February 2022. Torn medial, I don't even know how to pronounce it, retinaculum. Retinaculum. I don't even know how to pronounce it. A dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg at 3:27 in the third quarter. So not related to the calf injury, but a problem. Now, in his return in game 1, it was as dominant as anything I've really seen from a player coming back from injury. He completely took it over. I mean, he messed everything up. His height messed everything up, because it's one thing what we know what Porzingis can do offensively. I couldn't believe what he was doing defensively throughout the whole series. I couldn't believe the blocks, the execution, the not fouling, and now he's hurting. So if he doesn't play, or if he doesn't play at 100%, if he plays at 80%, and it's not even his scoring, it's his rim protection. Because we remember when the Pacers looked live against the Celtics is when they were picking on Al Horford. Gafford and Lively have not. Gafford looked much better in game 2. Lively's been nowhere to be found in the first 2 games. And if it's Horford who's out there, it's a problem. Now, 31 of 36 teams who have a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals won the championship. Just because of, let's say, Porzingis isn't healthy throughout the rest of the series, I still think the Celtics can win the series. They're also 6-0 on the road in the playoffs. They won game 2 despite going just 10 of 39 from 3. That shows the kind of basketball team they are. So Drew went for 26. In game 1, Brown went for 22. Tatum has not stepped up yet. We know it's going to come at some point. This is probably the right time for it to come. Luka had the triple-double, 32, 11, and 11. But good God, did he disappear after a dominant first half. Irving averaged just 14 points, 13 of 37 shooting, 0 for 8 from long range. I do not believe that he's just going to get stunted throughout this whole playoff series. He's going to step up and he's going to hit big buckets. We know that's just him. It's just him. So, yes, it's working. Multiple defenders on Kyrie. Brown, White, Tatum are all looking good against Luka. We talked about the Celtics' ability to defend the corner 3. That's obviously a problem for the Mavericks. They're shooting horrifically, 13 of 53. And if you take away Luka's 8 of 21, this team is shooting 5 of 32 from 3, 15.6%. You want to talk about open threes? The Mavericks are 0 for 9. Any Dallas Maverick not named Luka Doncic is 0 for 9 in open threes. Luka 5 of 14. Dallas committed 15 turnovers in game 2. Boston turned that into 21 points. Boston only committed 10 turnovers, 12 points. When committing 15 or more turnovers, the Mavs have a 441 winning percentage in the regular season and the playoffs. When committing less than 15 turnovers, they're hitting at 700% winning percentage. I don't think this is difficult, honestly. And I think what makes it even easier is that everybody just watched the Celtics take complete control. Now, look, I know that there's Celtics backers, and I am a Celtics backer in the series, but I think this game 3 for the Mavericks is very easy. And I mean that. Now, look, we could show up here tomorrow and I could be wrong. We can show up on the live stream tonight and I can be wrong publicly. But I think this is very easy. The Mavericks bounce back, especially with now. Let's say Porzingis is okay. You think Missoula's going to play him 25 minutes tonight? Not a chance. So I think this is easy, and I'm going to have to decide whether I want to add the first half because I do have the double up, or do I just want the double result? Let's hear what Dutch Boy Fresh has to say. Dutch, take it away. We're at American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, man. I pretty much agree with everything you say. I am on the Mavericks. No motherfucking surprise. Took it on chin so far, game 1 and 2. We'll stand on it. Shout out to the chat, though. Shout out to Andrew G, Kelly McKinnon, Saturated, Justin. I see you, my man. Be sure to run up these likes. We hanging around, breaking it down. Show some motherfucking love. But yeah, man, I like the Mavericks an awful lot tonight. I mean, you seem, to not be high on what KP did in game 1. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it was like, goddamn, the fucking unicorn. What is this? What type of shit is this? Game 2, a little bit back more to reality. Did he have a nice first half? Yes. What happened? Instantly, the motherfucker's hobbly again. I said it 2 weeks ago on the sesh. I don't believe KP will be around for game 4. So we're on that track. We're on that track, Jim. Now, KP or not, I don't give a fuck if he plays or not tonight. It's Mavericks all over the place. I believe it is pretty easy. I have a couple plays. We'll get a full game for. I got it at 1.5, but we'll do whatever. I believe it's 2.5 all around. So we'll lock that in for show purposes. Also, man, I believe it's 2 things, man. Your role players got to play an awful lot better. PJ Washington, he's scoring. He's playing actually probably the best the second best on the team outside of Luka, obviously. And that can't happen, Kyrie. Goddamn it, that can't happen. But PJ got to be top 3 or 4. He's got to continue to do what he does, but he's got to knock down open shots. I mean, the guy's 1 of 8 from 3-point range. It's not going to happen. He's got wide open threes. He's got to knock them down. I believe he will do a little bit more of what we've seen in Minnesota and at home against Dallas. PJ's played lights out this year. He's got playing with very high confidence. He's not scared of the moment. So I look for him to show up tonight. And obviously, I think Derek Jones, Colin Cliff, shout out to our guy, says he plays a lot better at home. I mean, he's a liability right now. He's 1 of 5 from the 3-point line. He did have a better game, too. They need him for his defense, but they got to spread this court. So if he's going to be out there shooting fucking threes, his ass might need to ride the pine. They got to press the right button. Jason Kidd's got to press the right button. Whether it be Exum to take a little bit of pressure off of Luka, bringing the ball up. We know he's long, lanky, can play some defense. Green has been MIA. Hardy had a great game 1, had 13 points. Maybe in wash-up time, played 1 minute game 2. But they need somebody out there who's going to be respectable to shoot the 3 and off the bench. It's just out there running on the show with PJ on the side. But I do expect the role players to play a lot better. Maxi Cleveland, 16 minutes, 2 rebounds, 0-4 from the floor. I mean, get the fuck out of here. The guy cannot be on the court if this is what we're going to see from him. He's got the shoulder all wrapped up. If this guy cannot shoot the ball, Maxi Cleveland does not need to be out there, in my opinion. But it also comes down to Kyrie Irving, man. I mean, I'm on over 23.5, minus 111. If this motherfucker don't break 25, Jim, I don't believe they win the basketball game. They need 25 plus from Kyrie Irving. It might be that square. It might be that motherfucking simple. Well, goddamn it is to me. I think, last time Kyrie was in the NBA Finals, last time he touched down, game 1, game 2 of the NBA Finals against the Warriors, 19 points per game. All right, shot 37% from the field. Not very good. Game 3 and 4, 35 points per game, 52% from the floor. I think we see a little bit more of that, Uncle Drew, instead of what we've seen in Boston. Say what you will, didn't get to him. Obviously, something got to him because he didn't look like the Kyrie we've seen all playoffs. He looked great against Minnesota, averaging 14 points in the game 1 and 2, shooting in the low 30s. So 0 from 8 from 3-point line. I expect all this to improve tonight, Jim. It has to if Dallas wants to be competitive in this series. Luka did what he had to do in the third in game 2. He played fucking outstanding. Did he get tired at the end? Well, goddamn, he got to carry the whole fucking team. Obviously, he's going to get tired when you got horses like Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Jason Tatum. You continuously can throw at these guys. So it can't be all on Luka's shoulders. I don't believe it will be tonight. I think KP is going to be the factor in the series. In the series, KP's injury will be big. I agree with you there, Jim. It'll be big. If they miss him, then Dallas looking a little bit more live, like I called it. Obviously, if KP's out there the way it's looked, I believe you're pretty confident with your Celtics to win the series. Excuse me, but I believe he will be hurt by the end of it. But for tonight, it's clearly Dallas all the way. I do think this game is going to be a little more comfortable. I have a same game parlay. Maybe, get this record up a little bit. I dropped 1 unit on this. It's just first quarter Dallas -1.5. It's Dallas first half -2.5. And it's full game -2.5. 1 unit plus 250. I like it. I think Dallas comes out from start to finish. I don't know if it's going to be a 20-point game, but I do see this game being probably 10 to 12 points by the final. And not as close as, Dallas, Boston will make their runs because they shoot so many fucking threes. But I think Dallas will be an awful lot better from the offensive perspective. They've actually played pretty solid defensively. They just fucking are horrible from the 3-point line. And really, nobody's played well outside of Luka. And he didn't really play that well game 1 either, Jim.
And the foul line. And
the foul line. They missed 8 free throws in game 2. They lose by 7. If they could shoot, Boston missed 1 free throw, and they out rebounded them in game 2. So by 1, but they did their job. So do what you did in game 2, knock down the free throws and knock down open 3-pointers, which I believe role players will do at the crib.
Yeah, role players always step up. What was so first quarter -1.5, first half -2.5, full game -2.5 was plus what?
250.
Plus 250.
Same game parlay on BetMGM. I don't really fuck with those, but I was like, fuck it, let me do it.
Yeah, no, I enjoy doing it when we have a live stream as well. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to have $20 on each player prop on the under. So I don't even need to bet unders anymore, even though the first 2 came through.
And Kyrie over 23.5 -111.
So you guys, like the Sweaty Butcher and the Gas Report, I agree with what you guys are saying and what you've seen. You've seen the Celtics completely take control and win comfortably. I believe, and look, this is part of the fun, and it's part of the fun capping. I believe this is the easiest spot in sports gambling. When a team dominates the first 2 games at home on the playoff series, and then they go play game 3. And I believe it because of the bias that you have watching the first 2 games. Now, look, we see teams sweep other teams. We haven't seen much of it lately, but that's what I believe. I believe that as a sports gambler, if you believe what you've just seen, then you're in trouble. And I've always believed that. And so, look, I can be wrong. Look, I'm not, this is just my expectation. This is what I'm betting. Sweaty says it's not just the first 2 games. C's have done this all season. Look, Celtics are the best team in the league, and Celtics are going to win the NBA championship. I do not think that they win game 3, and I want to know what Kristaps looks like and whether or not they need to put a game plan together. The Celtics do without Kristaps in the lineup, which they can still win. And Gas Report says, but to dominate and not play well is another factor. Yes. That was the first thing we talked about. They only shot 10 of 39 from 3, and they won comfortably.
I don't know if they dominated game 2, though. I mean, did they pull away at times? Yes. The final score, I mean, it was pretty competitive, in my opinion, to be quite honest with you.
They were in control. Maybe that's better. They were in control.
I mean, if Dallas can make a couple wide open shots, if Uncle Drew, could make a couple, it's 16. It's not going to get it done. Not to mention the 8 missed free throws. So they won the game by 7. Like, I didn't see the domination I seen in game 1. Absolutely. Game 1 was Celtics all over the place, but yeah, so we'll see. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about Kyrie. It's about these role players knocking down shots. So they do that. I think they handle business in game 3. And the NBA, don't get it twisted, man. There's been very light. NBA Eastern Conference Finals went 5. It was a sweep in the NBA. You think this shit's going at least 6, man. At least 6. God damn it. The NBA's got to get paid. They got a whole summer off, and Luka the Don and Kyrie will have something to say about that. Believe that.
Mr. Heat says, to be honest, I don't see what adjustment Dallas can make unless they slow the game down to a snail's pace. Look, the way I see this is there are more question marks now on the Celtics side of things. Because if this was a series without Kristaps Porzingis, it would look a lot different. That first quarter and that first half was just dominance of game one. And, we saw him trying to get back into the play after he got hurt, and they probably should have called the timeout earlier. The biggest thing that we see in these playoff series is that the role players step up at home. It's the biggest thing in basketball. There's a whole chapter about it in scorecasting. It's just what happens. These role players step up at home. They're invisible on the road, and they step up at home. And I can't wait to be a part of this basketball game tonight. Dutch going to be with us. I hope you guys can join us as well. We have a live stream with cappers on either side. And Mr. Heat says Dallas bigs are no match for the Celtics bigs. What if it's just Horford? What if it's Horford?
Gafford had a solid game in game two. I don't know if we're watching the same game. Lively got his rebounds. He's not looking too comfortable offensively, but he had 7 rebounds in 16 minutes. Gafford had, damn near double-double. Yeah, I don't know.
Lively looks frustrated.
Yeah.
Like he's emoting. He's got to, this is a big.
But the effort's there, though. You get 7 boards in 16 minutes in the NBA Finals. The effort on the road, the effort's there. He's just got to calm down offensively.
Mr. Heat says the Celtics have so many weapons. We ain't seen Derek White game. Celtics players show up on the road. Look, Derek White's been spectacular. He's just, the poise of him defensively, there's just no panic at all. Sweaty Butch says the biggest thing I've seen is they have no answer for the Celtics defense. Held under 100 both games. Celtics now have 12 postseason games holding their opponents under 100. Well, now, we talked all about it before the series started, about the pick and roll, how they were going to defend it. We spent 5 minutes on just the pick and roll alone. And if it's just Horford, who doesn't like to switch off, it changes everything. If there's not going to be 20 minutes of a 7'4" Kristaps Porzingis, it changes everything. And all of this with you guys on the Celtics, a lot of you in the chat, and here Dutch and I on the Mavs, it just makes it more fun. And that's what this game tonight's going to be. It's going to be extremely fun. And I've got so much work to do on tomorrow's card so I can relax and not worry about it. I'm really
9
excited.
wide open threes, you said, Jim, right? Yeah, imagine if they made some of those. Imagine if they didn't miss 8 free throws. We'll see that people are acting like there's no way in hell that the Mavericks can win this basketball game. It's actually kind of a good thing. I hate to see some of our guys lose money, but we don't want the whole world on the Mavericks. But there's more people rocking these Celtics than I thought.
It's game. So what I do here, and we have the situation in NHL, when you see 2 teams dominate at home and then go back to the other team's barn, this has been such a big angle for me in my life in capping. If I'm not on that home team, I don't bet.
Yeah.
I don't bet.
This is, can the Mavericks play better? Absolutely. So it's just they're at home, game 3, NBA Finals. Let's get your popcorn, ladies. I'm gonna be a night. I'll see how long I can hang around. Hopefully it starts off good, and I can see Jose's ass just sitting over there quietly watching the game.
Yes.
Now, if it's a 3-point party, good Lord, my pockets are gonna hurt. My fucking mental will hurt even worse. But let's get it. It should be a good time. I think it's Mavericks nights, and I think this series, doesn't really even start till tonight. So Boston did what they're supposed to do, and I think the game 2 was a little bit more closer than people think.
They say the series doesn't start till one team loses at home, and Gas Report's right. If Kyrie doesn't show up, this is null and void. So we can believe these numbers or not. Again, they have to legally give us the numbers, but Doug, at this point, there's no more money seems to be or any of that. We can just use the numbers that they're saying are legitimate. That's saying that 61% of the tickets and 57% of the cash is on the Celtics. I've been watching this page every 6 hours for 3 days. This has gone. So now the Mavs have 39 and 43. This started at 18 and 23. And it's just been building for the Mavs. And my dad, asking me to put money on the Celtics right away, I was like, oh, man. I just don't understand why people believe what they've seen in sports. We're changing venues. Everything changes to me. And it's going to be a lot of fun with you guys. Billy Friedrich said Dallas doesn't win game 3, they get swept. Yes, I think that is legit, and we can worry about that here. Sweaty Butcher says, so if Dallas loses tonight, it's an easy game 4 bet? No, not at all. No. There's so many questions that have to be answered for me, Sweaty Butcher. And they all the most important angle in this entire basketball game to me is not 3-point shooting. It's not role play. It's all Kristaps Porzingis for me. So I need to see what happens, and I need to cap that here. I do not, and I think Boston can come up with a game plan that can win without KP, but we just need to see if that's going to be a.
It's Kyrie, goddammit. With or without KP, it's motherfucking Kyrie. Believe that. Kyrie got to get his, man. He's got to do his thing. He gonna show up for Luka tonight. Them role players knocked down a couple open Jays. Easy money.
Again, this isn't just about Porzingis playing. I want to see him sprint back on defense and block a shot.
Gafford knocked this motherfucker over one time. See if he gets up, goddammit. Even if I hope he does go out there and try to play. I really do. I'm not worried about that motherfucker. I'm not one bit.
If he's 100%, we would be. Wouldn't you be?
He's not, though. He's not. How is he 100%? Did you not see him? Did you not see him go up and down the court? They keep showing these highlights of the plays he made. That was off adrenaline, if anything. When you really seen him move, he didn't look too comfortable, So, but this is what you get out of him. It's physical. It's playoff basketball. You don't think Jay Kidd's gonna tell his boys to make sure to be extra physical with him? That was out from the get-go. Now he's already hobbled. I don't expect him to be around. I just don't. He's not built like that. It's unfortunate because he is one hell of a talent. But there's a reason why he's on his 5th team.
I'm
maybe 4th.
With being up 2-0. Now, you'd have to be in the room to know exactly what's going on. But I would want KP to get 2 more days of rest. I feel like we're up 2-0. We can compete with the Mavericks without him if we have a game plan set with it. These are crucial points. If Porzingis is out there hobbling and it's 5 points the other way, these are crucial points. So look, I can't wait. Sweaty Butch said he's moved from questionable to game time decision. Oldie says job site rained out. I have to recap the whole show. The boots are off. I love it. Sly Astute says with the venue change, I believe we see a better Kyrie. First quarter over 55.5 and -106. And I can't wait to watch this basketball game. I'm going to move right after the show on the double result. Keep it clean, double result, get plus 115 on that. I'm going to move on that right now. We have Dutch on the -2.5 and -110. I got that -2.5, -106 this morning. Kyrie Irving over 23.5 for Dutch and the SGP. First quarter -1.5, first half -2.5, full game -2.5 at plus 250. Torrey Coker on Dallas to win the first quarter. And Saturated says Celtics haven't had him for 90% of their playoff run. What do you think the Mavs would have done against these, the Heat without Jimmy Butler and, completely broken broken? I mean, the Heat were just a non-issue for the Celtics. When have the Celtics been challenged? Pacers without Halliburton. I mean, it's been a very, very easy run that the Mavericks would have run through as well. Maybe not quite as dominant, but we knew that if the Celtics played against an elite basketball team, that they would like to have Porzingis healthy. Kong says it's Drew's birthday. He's cashed his points prop in 6 straight birthdays. Sweaty Butcher said, "Let's go Celtics." I can't wait to watch it.
How the fuck you get that fucking stat? That's a good one.
Robert Franklin says Zingis injury is big. Now the bigs can help in the lane. Before you couldn't leave Porzingis because of his ability to shoot threes. It's going to be fun. And I agree. This is just going to be so much fun. This is what sports is all about. We have cappers capping the game on different sides of the fence, and then we all meet together with booze and see what the hell happens and bet it. going to be really, really fun. Please support our guy Dutch Boy Fresh on X at Dutch Boy Fresh. And of course, Medicate Mondays every Monday. The Friends and Family Medicate Monday parlay cashed. Made a lot of people a lot of money. So keep supporting and please support our show every Monday at 11 a.m. Dutch, my man, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man. Appreciate you as always, Jim. I can't get over OE saying he got rained out today, man. It's 100 degrees today here in the city. So I don't know where you at, but god damn it, thank you for the sunshine. Yeah, we got a hell of a game tonight. Check us out Wednesday night. Tonight we'll be live. We'll be live and vibing out with the crew. Jimmy the Bag, all of us vibing out for the NBA Finals. So check it out. Check it out. Be sure to like and subscribe and share this video, man. Y'all stay fresh.
There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh in the house. That is our show for today. Clock is ticking, man. I got to get a ton of work done on tomorrow's card so I can relax this evening. So I got to start working on tomorrow's card. I got to get in some more action as well. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog, 61%, Cubs, Rangers, Angels, Braves. And then I got to send my shit into my local here because I did not realize those White Sox Mariners games were voided. So I've got to send my shit in. Kelly McKinnis, thank you, my man. Justin McKelvey, Ron Crawford, Rye Cape, the Sweaty Butcher, OG Lowbagger, Sweaty Butcher, Doug, Andrew G, Kong's Clips, AOD, Old E, Tori Coker, Nate Dogg, Patrick McDonough, Saturated, Sly, Astute, a.k.a. Astute Chaos, Robert Martin, Subhuman Gaucho. Thank you, guys. Mikey Money says, feels like a Mavs trifecta spot. Dust 10, Mr. Heat, Harold Williams, my dude, Joe Yurkovich. Thank you guys so much. Jay Peasy. God, it's going to be fun, man. This is what it's all about. Tori Coker says on NHL, he's on Panthers. The first period over. At this point, I truly don't see why I would move on the game. I got the Panthers for game one in series at plus 135. I got Bobrovsky, Conn Smythe at plus 400. Cashed on game one on the -1, game two on the -1. I took my dad's action on the Oilers and didn't send it in. Why would I? I've got 10-1 for $4,000 or for $400. I get 4,000. I wish I could put 4,000 on that shit, but for $400, I got the same at plus 900 for 400 on the Oilers. I mean, I just don't see why I do anything. I don't see why I do it. Joseph Gomez says, shout out to Gary Owen. Says, real recognizes real. That was very cool of Gary Owen to retweet that moment that we were talking about him on our horse racing show. I think it was our horse racing show when we were talking about Gary Owen. But yeah, Gary Owen, class act, incredible comic. I mean, that guy is just a monster of monsters, one of the best to do it. So that was pretty cool. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to cap with you guys, and I don't take it lightly. I know how much work needs to go in to deliver for you guys, and we need to deliver. We need to win an MLB. We've had a huge 14-4 run that was so important. Yes, Saturated, Operation Garcia is a go tonight. This should be a perfect series. We need the outlier performance for the huge score. Now, we've had the 2 unders, so we've done huge in the first games. But we need Tatum to go for 50, or Kyrie to go for 50, or Luka to go for 50, Jaylen Brown to go for 50. That's what we now here. This is big. This is very big for anyone thinking about the Operation Garcia. Do not bet the Celtics player props until 25 or 30 minutes before the game. You can't put in the Celtics player props. Now this screwed me. This cost me so much money when Jared Allen was announced out that first game with the rib injury. That was the beginning of the huge just like, I don't know what the devastating results. I don't know what to call it. So if you need to know that Porzingis is going to play, that Porzingis is available, that tweet will come out anywhere between 30 minutes and 60 minutes before the game. Because if they're going to have his props up, because people who are betting now, I don't know, it helps over bettors, but anyone who's betting unders is screwed if they pull Porzingis points off. Now, it's only going to be probably 12.5 or 13.5, but if they pull that off, obviously Horford's prop would change. I don't know if Cornette's even going to be listed, but it's still crucial. So if you want to take the Mavericks player props, you can bet them whenever you want. You just can't take the Celtics player props until you know for certain that Porzingis is available. That's something that cost me a lot of money. Never going to make that mistake again. So you have to be sitting there 30 minutes before the game ready to pounce on it. That is our show for today. King Al says, what do you think of the total 214? I think that Porzingis being in the paint for 22 minutes of the game and coming back on defense, being able to come back on defense is such a crucial point in the total. If you do not think that Porzingis is going to be there, I see why overbettors are getting involved. And if you were betting an over, I would just take the Mavericks team total over because the paint will be freer. Ron Crawford says under. The unders cashed the first 2 games and made me a lot of money. I'm going to be cheering for the under because of Operation Garcia. I want the under to hit. But you need to be able to game script with Porzingis in or Porzingis out. And that's just going to take us studying and listening to the beat reporters for the Celtics throughout the day. There we go. Let's get that cash. Let's just take a quick look at what's going on live right now in MLB. That one game, we talked about sort of what we thought was going to happen, and then it comes to fruition. And it's 5-1 here as well. We're 5-1 in the third inning. Another thing that should have been done too, when we talked about the issues that Gomber has, first time through the line, which we should have immediately bet that live under, and I should have done it, but I was a little too caught up. Ron Crawford on the under is good business here. Let's go out there and get that cash. Thank you guys so much for supporting this show. Jose's had to run, so I'm going to put a bow on this. But we have nothing without you guys. So thank you truly from the bottom of our hearts for supporting us here at Pub Sports Radio, and join us tonight 8 p.m. Eastern for our action. So let me get this all set up here. Let's get this bucket cash. LECHE and Los Bookmakers. Roll that shit, like that shit, smoke it.
Pub Sports Radio's the crew, that's a fact. We all about bread, making bank accounts fat. Who the hell is that? LJ from the H, I stack green like Boston. Shout out to Nasty Nate from down south, where we ride on slab. 420 highway smoking with that boy Daby Cab. Swing by Dallas with them Cowboy fans so we can smoke out J Money, cause you know that's our mans. Us against the bookies, put money in our pockets. Fly out to Vegas, meet up with Ski Profit. Hit the sports books, we got money to stack. Can't forget them college picks with that boy Conor Mack.